hello, everyone. How's everyone doing? Alright, part 2 of Aquarium. We finally begin Aqua's route proper. Last time, the game was hijacked by Marin, but today we actually go for certain for Aqua. So yeah, hello. Ah, there we go, that's the save we did before Marin hijacked the stream. Alright, let's see how Aqua behaves as an actual maid.
せっかくご主人様が話しかけてくれたのに、ろくに話もできないなんて。
I said this yesterday, but I'll say it again. I think there's so many really good voice actresses in Hololive. They're really good. Like Marin is a very good example. She's so good.
仕方ないでしょ。いろいろ喋ろうと思ってたのに、テオの顔見たら頭真っ白になっちゃったんだから。初対面ってことになってるんだから、好きなものは何ですかとか適当に質問すればよかったんじゃない？
But Marin, that's the problem. That's assuming that Aqua knows how to talk to people. She doesn't.
無理。適当に聞いたら相手を怒らしちゃうかもしれないじゃん。
You know, it's part of a shy introvert's complete package. You overthink everything. And because you overthink everything, you end up not saying anything because you're too nervous to actually say something. I know that very well, because I'm like that too as well.
前もって何を喋るか決めておかないとおしゃべりなんてできないよ。
Yep, always have to plan everything ahead. And if something unexpected happens, you freeze in the spot.
さすが陰キャ。ああ、そういうこと言うんだ。どうせ私は陰キャですよだ。相手になれればアクタンもこのぐらい気軽に喋れるのにね。まあ初めて私と会った時のアクタンもすっごく可愛かったけど、ずーっとうつむいて服の裾掴んでもじもじとしてて、とかとかばっかり言っててさ。
Something tells me this is not part of the fictional story anymore.
前のことはいいじゃん。今はちゃんと喋れるんだから。
Aqua and Marin's first encounter dates back to a few weeks ago. Fubuki invited Aqua to the mansion, where she stayed in a small room to keep her hidden from Teo's view. During that time, Marin taught her the basic know-how and etiquette of being a maid, and today was her long-awaited introduction.
まあご主人様相手にいきなりタメ語はまずいと思うけど、もう少し肩の力抜いたら？無理。油断したらまた昔のこと喋っちゃう気がする。それに記憶がないってのは聞いてたけど、本当に思い出せないとは思わなかったし。
The main character forgot about Aqua, but Aqua hasn't forgotten.
私のこと忘れられててショックだったな。覚悟してたはずなのに泣いちゃった。ありがとねマリン、フォローしてくれて。気にしない。後輩をフォローするのが先輩の仕事だし。
I'll say it again, the artwork for this game is absolutely beautiful. I haven't checked who the artist is yet, but I wanna check. It's so gorgeous.
大船に乗ったつもりでドーンと頼ってなさいって。ありがとう。ひゃー、アクトンやっぱり可愛い。超ラブリーなんですけど。
Higurashi vibes. Oh, omochikaeri. Good old Ryugurena.
アクタン、うちの子にならない？アクタンなら私埋める気がする。
And I think this is also not a fictional thing. I think Marine said that on stream to Aqua.
意味わからないんだけど。
And that is why Marin considers herself Aqua's mom now.
ねえ、いいでしょ。先っちょだけでいいから。くっつかないで、気持ち悪い。あらやだ、もう反抗期なの？大丈夫でちゅよ。ママの愛は変わりませんからね。
And I think Marin has also said that to Aqua as well.
本当に気持ち悪い。マジで無理。離れろ。嫌よ、もう好きのうちって言うじゃない。アクターン。本当に。いや。
This is a very regular interaction between the two of them. Marin and Aqua continue to push and shove each other playfully. After a while, both of them run out of steam and drop to the floor. Usually that ends with Aqua
マリンのせいで余計な体力使っちゃったじゃない。
turning off the call.
これからテオの部屋でお仕事をしなきゃいけないのに。私もお嬢様のところ行かないと。
And they are really tired. Just what did they do?
でも私はアクタンを産むの諦めてないから。
You're a bit too late, Marin. I'm sorry. Yeah, I don't think you can give birth to Aqua anymore.
さっさと諦めて、私はもう行くから。そういえばマリン、一つ聞きたいんだけど、テオの記憶ってどのくらい戻ってるの？
He dreams.
女の子と出会ってこっぴどく振られたところまでを思い出してるみたい。でもその先のことも女の子がアクタンだってことも思い出せてないみたい。じゃああの雨の日の。そっか。じゃあ私のことを思い出せてなくてよかったかも。テオは夢に出てくる女の子のこと、私のこと絶対恨んでると
Doesn't
思うし。
resent you, Aqua. He regrets what he said.
どうだろうね。
He wants to be with
それ
you.
こそ本人に聞かないとわからないんじゃない？わかるよ。だって私あんなひどいこと言ったんだし。急にテオがいなくなるって分かって悲しくなっちゃって。本当はもっと違うことを言いたかった。離れ離れになってもずっと一緒だよって言いたかった。でも一度言った言葉はもう取り返せないんだよね。
More or less. I suppose you can't take it back, but you can still, talk openly and honestly. And maybe the effects of the previous thing you said can be forgotten, as long as both people get to an understanding. That's why communication is a very important skill, but, well, this is Aqua we're talking about. I guess we can't expect the best communication skills out of her?
仕方ないって。アクタンもご主人様も幼かったんだから。大人みたいに感情を隠してうまく取り繕うなんてできるはずないでしょ。それはそうだけど、でもやっぱり悪かったなって思うの。本人が私のこと忘れちゃってるから謝りようもないんだけどね。夢の女の子は私ですって言うのはダメなんでしょ？
That would be very weird, yes.
そうね。お医者様から止められてるわ。ご主人様が自分の力で思い出すのが大事なんだって。じゃないと記憶がこんがらがって余計ひどいことになるかもって言ってたわ。だよね。だから私はテオが思い出すまで絶対に言わないようにする。
It's normal that royals have
テ
many
オが
lovers.
苦しむとこ
True.
ろ見たくない
It's
から。
very, very normal for any type of royalty, or emperors or whatever. They usually have concubines. Same thing with nobility as well. And that's how usually bastard sons are born. Because, someone didn't keep it in his pants and had a child with the servant.
でもご主人様がいつアクタンのことを思い出すかわからないわよ。もしかしたら一生思い出すことはないかもしれない。それでも当たり前じゃん。私のわがままでテオを傷つけられないよ。私がテオのお世話をするのはひどいことを言っちゃった罪滅ぼしだから。テオを何回も夢の中で苦しめちゃってる分、いっぱいテオの役に立ちたいの。テオは私のことを思い出さなくてもいい。ただ穏やかに楽しく過ごしてくれればそれで十分なの。私としてはいろいろ言いたいことはあるけど、アクタンの気持ちはアクタンのものだからね。だから今は黙っておく。でもしんどくなったらいつでも相談して。私はアクタンの味方だから。
Hello.
ありがとう、
Welcome.
マリン。じゃあテオの ご主人様のところに行ってくるね。
Alright, now Aqua is gonna be the one waking up Teo.
アクアリウ
Let's see
ム。
if she does a better job than Marin. You know, last time, when Marin tried to wake up Teo, they kinda just, set sail together and got married and bought a ship and then ran away. Let's see if Aqua does a better job. I return to my room and wait for Miss Aqua. Wait, we're already awake. Never mind. But I feel nervous because of what happened when we first met. The way she reacted was almost like she knew me, but I can't remember it at all. Could it be that she's a girl I met before I lost my memory? I try my hardest to remember, racking my brain for even the slightest hint. But then a piercing pain rushes through my head. Ugh, it's no use. I can't remember. I can't let Miss Aqua see me like this. It'd make her worry. Needing to distract my mind, I drop to my hands and knees. Then begin a regimen of rigorous exercises. Is this a dating sim? I suppose so, kind of. I don't know exactly. It's an official visual novel about Aqua. Should we count it as a dating sim? I guess so, but not quite at the same time. Difficult to say. We'll see. But probably? But I'm not sure. And as I complete a set of push-ups, crunches, sit-ups, and squats, I hear someone at the door.
アクアです。お部屋のお掃除に来ました。開けてもよろしいですか？
Yes, please, come in. I get up, and as I wipe my sweat off with a towel, the door slowly opens.
失礼します。ってご主人様？なんで汗だくなんですか？
Sorry, I was just training for a bit. It smells sweaty in here, right? I'll open the windows. I walk up to a window, and as I open it wide, a warm, early summer breeze blows briskly into the room. That sounds nice. You came to clean my room, right? Please don't mind me.
はい、失礼します。
Miss Aqua enters the room holding a duster and bucket. At the same time, her eyes wander, surveying the room restlessly.
わあ、すごい豪華。ここがテオの部屋なんだ。絨毯もふかふかだし、家具に彫ってある模様も細かいし、貴族ってお金持ちなんだな。
It's nice and fancy indeed, cozy too. Have you played the DLC? I've never played it for myself, but I've watched like multiple content creators play it from beginning to end. So by now I know the entire story, as if I had played it. My room's still pretty modest compared to father's. It's decorated with all sorts of hunting trophies.
動物の剥製？それはちょっと夜に見たくないような。って、私ってばまたタメ口で。すみません、本当にすみません。
It's fun to play. Yeah, I think it's one of those really good like blind experiences. Because you don't know what you're getting in, right? You go in expecting to be a regular dating sim, but then suddenly, it's actually a horror game with glitches and stuff happening all over the place, which is really cool for a blind experience. But once you know the story, there's not much of a point to play it anymore, unless you want to relive the story more so. So after that, after I saw one content creator play it, I just wanted to see the reactions of other content creators. I've seen so many, even before I fell in the rabbit hole. In the Vtuber rabbit hole, I was watching a lot of other YouTubers like play the game. Miss Aqua apologizes while bowing repeatedly. Her body is swinging so much that the bucket she's holding looks like it's just about to spill. Don't worry about it. Doesn't bother me one bit. It's only your first day after all. Sister told me that this is your first time working as a maid, so please take a deep breath and calm down.
はい。
Feeling better now?
はい、ごめんなさい。もともと上がり症なんです。
All we know. We know. We know you have social anxiety, Aqua. That's the Aqua trait, after all. No need to apologize. It might take some time, but I'm sure you'll get used to me and the job.
テオじゃない、ご主人様は優しいですね。すごく
Wait.
安心しました。
What if the lore as to why Aqua has social anxiety in this story is because of our past with her? That she feels regret about saying, I hate you. And now she feels very, nervous to talk to people because she's afraid of ruining it. Or something like that. Did we just uncover a secret, deep Aqua lore? Miss Aqua's shoulders relax and she gives me a gentle smile, making my heart skip a beat. Oh, it's a love. It is love. I should be used to seeing beautiful people from high society, but she's special. A diamond in the rough. She makes me feel something I've never felt before. It is love.
主人様、どうして私をじっと見ているんですか？まさかやっぱり怒ってるんじゃ。
Wrong, Miss Aqua. It is not that type of feeling. It is equally as intense, but different. Warm, cozy, and cruel at times. It's not that. I just found you a little captivating, that's all.
ああ、なるほど。見とれ、何言ってるんですか？もうご主人様は。
You shine like a diamond, Aqua. That's what's up.
私が可愛いわけないじゃないですか。貴族の人たちの方がよっぽど着飾ってますよ。
But you got the cute appeal, Aqua. Really? I think you're plenty cute. Though it's not something as simple as thinking she's cute. I feel a strong attraction from the depths of my soul, drawing me to her.
だから私が可愛いとかありえないですから。
X.
私そんなにちょろい女じゃないですし、身の程もわきまえているので。あんまり甘い言葉言われても嬉しくありませんからね。
Lies. Lies. Miss Aqua quickly shuts me down and turns her head to the side. Oh, I'm sorry. Did I upset you?
別にそういうわけじゃ。ただ褒められるのに慣れていないだけで。ともかくあんまり変なこと言わないでください。
I thought we were the tsundere character. I didn't mean for it to sound weird, but I understand.
じゃあそろそろお掃除しますね。ご主人様はくつろいでいてください。
I nod my head and sit down after grabbing a book to read.
よーし、頑張るぞ。
Miss Aqua fires herself up and begins cleaning the entrance. Look at that! The gaming maid that can actually clean. We found it. She dusts the door, polishes the doorknob to a shine, and is overall very meticulous. Before long, I stop reading and simply watch her work.
お掃除ゴシゴシ楽しいな。
I guess video games don't exist yet in this timeline. I mean, I don't know how far back we are in time. Definitely not in an age of video games. That's why Aqua can actually dedicate herself to cleaning.
どんな汚れもアクアが解決。ピッカピカにしてあげる。
So this is her video game. And no one is better than Aqua at it. Because Aqua is really good at anything she likes. I can say with 90% certainty that Pekora doesn't actually believe the Earth is flat. Oh, did you look up the clips?
あ、こんなところにホコリ発見。私の目はごまかせないぞ。ていていてい。
This right here is the equivalent of Aqua absolutely wiping out a full team in Apex Legends. The mad dog finds you. You can't hide. Miss Aqua hums and swings a duster in a playful rhythm. She then wipes up the dust that falls to the floor with a rag. I mean, translation. She finds the enemy team low. She dives them 1 versus 3 and kills them. Squad wipe achieved. Did Miss Marin teach you how to clean?
はい、ここで働くことが決まった後に家事全般をみっちりと教え込まれました。
Aqua is a master rank cleaning maid. No wonder you're so meticulous. Miss Marin was quite strict, right?
はい、この前なんか私が拭いた窓の枠を指で触って、あらやだ、こんなにホコリが残ってるじゃない。やり直し。で、
I mean, Fubuki is strict with Marin, so Marin is going to be strict with with Aqua. That sounds exactly like her.
本当ですか？長いこと一緒にいたので口調も覚えちゃいました。
Oh, have you known Miss Marin for a long time?
そういうわけじゃないんですけど、っていうか会ってから1ヶ月ぐらいしか経ってないですし。
It's been only a month and yet Marin already thinks she's her mother.
まあいいじゃないですか、私のことは。
You know, this all happened because Pekura stopped being so dependent on Marin. Because before Aqua, Marin's maternal instincts used to fire off towards Pekura. Because Pekura used to be very dependent on Marin. At least when it comes to social interaction, that is. Pekura would often hide behind Marin and all that. But then Pekura started growing a lot. And she started being less dependent on Marin. And as a result, she stopped relying so much on Marin for like social interactions and all that. And so Marin suddenly has felt like she needs someone else that she can feel motherly towards. And guess what? Aqua is right there. And she's even more shy than Pekora. Perfect. They already had their Aquamarine bond after all. So the relationship was already built up. So now there we go. Pekora often engages in absurd discussions and fictional scenarios. Oh, I know. It's very, very fun.
本棚の掃除をしますね。触ってはいけないものはありますか？
But I still sometimes have my doubts as to what she's saying. Is she being serious or not? Sometimes. Not particularly. But don't worry if you can't reach the top of the shelves. The bookshelves are over 2 meters tall, and I can just barely reach the very top if I stretch.
大丈夫ですよ。マリンから踏み台借りてきましたから。
Main character is not as tall as I am then. Miss Aqua goes out to the hallway and returns with a familiar step stool.
これを使えば一番上の段だって楽に掃除できますよ。ほら、この通り。
She's going to fall, isn't she? She's going to fall. Indeed, she can now reach the top shelf. But only just barely. She's only able to reach the edge, and that's as far as she can get even if she stretches. Miss Marin's taller, so I guess the step stool is a bit too short for you. Well, Marin is 2 centimeters taller than Aqua.
マリンってば無駄に大きいから。
Let's just focus on what we can clean today. The top can wait for another day. When you grow a bit more.
はい、申し訳ありません。
With a disappointed look, Miss Aqua slumps her shoulders and continues cleaning. I want to cheer her up somehow, so I go through my desk in search of a little present to give her. I find a small bottle with candy in it. Surely this will cheer her up a bit.
あともうちょっとで届きそうなんだけど。よいしょ。ギリギリ届かな。
You can't, Aqua. You need to become an apex predator to reach that high. We haven't gone through that arc yet. I look back at Miss Aqua to find her tiptoeing on the step stool, stretching her arms for dear life, trying to clean the top of the bookshelf. Her whole body is wobbling dangerously, and it makes me feel anxious just looking at her. Really, you don't have to force yourself.
大丈夫ですよ。ちょっとジャンプすれば届きますから。よいしょ。
He's going to fall. With a few short hops, she brushes the dust off the top of the bookshelf. And with each jump, the skirt flutters.
やった届きました見てましたかご主人様
Don't look at it or she's gonna think you're a pervert. Well, yes, you certainly did.
ですよねですよね私ってばスーパー何でもできるメイドさんですからこの調子で完璧にお掃除しちゃいますよえいえい
Every time Miss Aqua jumps and swings the duster, the step stool rattles and shakes. She seems to be enjoying it, but it's making me really anxious. It looks dangerous, so I decide to stop her before things get bad. Anyway, it's dangerous to jump on a step stool, so you should stop before.
大丈夫ですよもうちょっとで終わりますから
It's not that I'm worried you might fall off, but rather I can see your, don't look at it. You could literally just avert your gaze.
え見ないで
Miss Aqua lowers her arm to try hold down her skirt. But as soon as she does, she loses her balance completely. Here we go. And she fell. Watch out! Nice. She loses her footing and falls, but I manage to catch her safely in my arms. Prince Charming.
あれ私浮いてる
I'm floating? Whew, that was close. I'm glad you weren't hurt.
はい全然痛くなくて
The once lively Miss Aqua looks into my eyes, and her already big and round eyes widen once more.
ごめんなさいご主人様私
Ah, please stay still. It's dangerous. Miss Aqua suddenly starts to flail her arms and legs about, so I hold her body firmly to keep her from dropping her. Because of that, my face becomes closer to hers. So close that I can see each of her long eyelashes.
ご主人様近いです
Ah, I'm sorry. I didn't want to drop you, so I...
いえ怒ってはいないんですけど恥ずかしくてこんな風に抱っこされるの初めてですしそれに重いですよね
I'm pretty sure Aqua has already, revealed her actual IRL weight. She's way too light. Way too light. I think her weight was even referenced in HoloCure. It's her HP stat. I forgot the value, how much it was. But it was really, really low. Really low. I think she had, yeah, it was 45.5, yeah, something like that. I think so. 44.5, yes, that's the one. It's 44.5. That's the one. She was playing Ring Fit Adventure, and she forgot to block the view, so everyone got to see her IRL weight in Ring Fit Adventure, and that became a reference in HoloCure. So yeah, she's very light, very, very light. No, not at all. I lift about this much for my usual training. That's the second main character who lifts. First it was in Nini-Sani scenario, now it's here. Come on, Aqua. You're really light. I don't think you need to lift much to carry you. About 40 kilograms. A little lighter than you, I suppose. There we go. Maybe 5? No, about 5.5 kilograms lighter. There we go. So you would be around 44.5 kilograms. There we go. There we go. The game reminds us, for sure. First time was with it? I'm sorry. I won't say it again, so please stop struggling. Struggling, I mean. Alright, I'll put you down, so please don't cry. I carefully lower Miss Aqua to the ground. Then I try all sorts of things to calm her down and cheer her up.
ごめんなさい。ご迷惑をおかけして。完璧にお掃除しなきゃって張り切りすぎちゃいました。しかもご主人様に助けてもらったのにいっぱい失礼なこと言っちゃって。私
Don't worry, I'd never fire you. Everyone makes mistakes. That's how we learn. At least Teo is a good master because I've seen a lot of stories where the master is just an asshole for the most minimal of slights. I try to cheer her up by showing her the little present I prepared earlier. Why don't we take a little break and have something sweet? Here, have some candy.
でもメイドがご主人様のものを食べるわけにはいきません。それにこのキャンディー大粒だし砂糖がかかっててすごく高そうじゃないですか。こんなの見たことありませんよ。
Tis a gift, Miss Aqua. It's fine, take it. Just don't tell sister or Miss Marin though, okay? I firmly place a candy in Miss Aqua's hand, and she hesitantly puts it in her mouth.
甘い。それに大粒だから口の中が幸せでいっぱい。はあ、こんなに美味しいキャンディー生まれて初めて食べました。
Cute. You like sweets? Nah, she likes spicy more, clearly from this reaction. Of course she likes sweets.
はい、砂糖は高くて実家ではなかなか食べられないので。
Why do people care about their weight, especially when it's way too good? I don't know, I think... I see some people are very embarrassed about their weight. I'm sure Miss Manning could prepare cookies or cake if we ask. Would you like some?
いやダメですよ。これ以上高価なものをもらったら私が怒られちゃいますって。そりゃすごく食べたいですけど。でもやっぱりダメです。
Oh, she has a point. I've never seen or heard of nobles and maids eating the same thing. Yes, that's just a given, but I can't say it doesn't make me a little sad. We can be the first ones to break that convention. We call the shots. I'm sorry, I said something weird. Please forget it.
私こそごめんなさい。生意気なことを言ってますよね。
There's no need to apologize. You are right after all, Miss Aqua.
でも
As if troubled by her own thoughts, her head and shoulders droop low again. Now I'll never get candy. I want to cheer her up somehow, so I say everything positive I can think of. Please don't be discouraged by this. It's not your fault, Miss Aqua. Okay? So you should keep... So you should keep your chin up. It'd be a shame to hide such a cute face under gloomy shadows. The moment I say that, her face turns bright red as a ripe tomato.
顔
That's a very cute look.
今可愛いって私のこと可愛いって言いました？
はい、
でも
そうです。
それって私を気遣ってお世辞言ってるだけですよね。
いや、
貴族は口がうまいって言いますし、すみません、普通に喜んでしまって。
本当に可愛いだよ。I heard that nobles... Wait, no, that's what she just said. Once again, Miss Aqua's shoulders slump and gloom returns to her face. It wasn't my intention to sweet talk. This is a lot harder than I thought. It's all about confidence. You're not being confident enough, Theo. It wasn't out of courtesy. I promise you. I really think you have a pretty face, but most of all I find your sincerity and the way you work so hard to be especially cute.
それぐらいで。
I also find it adorable how you make small mistakes, so I really think you are charming.
ちょっと待ってください。今まであんまり褒められたことないからびっくりしちゃって、息がしづらくて。もう十分ご主人様の気持ちは伝わりましたから。 そのぐらいにしてもらえませんか。
I'm sorry, I just wanted to tell you how I truly felt. I wasn't lying or trying to sweet talk.
だからそういうのがびっくりしちゃうっていうか。もういいです。
There's a lot of apologies in this game. Reminds me of a friend of mine who apologizes for everything.
やっぱりテオは昔と変わらないね。
Huh? Did you say something just now?
独り言ですよ。何でもありません。
Miss Aqua smiles as if she just found a great treasure. I'm curious as to what she said, but I don't want to ruin her moment, so I decide not to pursue it.
よーし、お仕事の続きしますね。今度は失敗しませんよ。ほらほら、ご主人様は座っててください。
Miss Aqua pushes me back to my seat. With nothing left to do, I take out my pocket watch. It's a very important watch the sister gave me. There are some fingerprints on it, so I polish it carefully with a soft cloth.
お、眩しい。ご主人様、眩しいです。角度変えてください。
Damn, really? Oh wow. I woke up to see a bright beam of light shining onto Miss Aqua's face. I'm right in her face. The watch is reflecting sunlight. Ah, I'm sorry. I promise that wasn't on purpose.
目がチカチカしました。ご主人様の懐中時計、すごくピカピカなんですね。
Pika pika. Yeah, it's a precious watch that sister gave me. I always polish it every day when I have time. I remember the day I was given this watch. Since it has our family's crest prominently engraved on it, the moment I received it was when I truly understood what it meant for me to be a member of the Francois family. Wanting to live up to those expectations, I do my best every day so that I'll become an heir worthy of this watch.
ご主人様にとってとても大切な時計なんですね。
Yeah, I carry it with me all the time. It's a special treasure that represents the bond I have with sister.
いいですね。絆が伝わるものって、私は兄弟がいないから羨ましいです。
You don't have to be related by blood to form a bond. I'm sure there will come a time when you will also find a treasure of your own.
だといいんですけど。っておしゃべりしてばっかりじゃダメですよね。掃除に戻ります。
Miss Aqua takes out the cloth and begins to wipe the window. Not wanting to bother her anymore, I pick up a thick book. The path of becoming an illustrious lord requires constant study. I need to do my best so I can catch up to sister as soon as possible. Damn, that looked like Rockenjima. It looked like Rockenjima for a moment.
もうクタクタ。テオと会うだけでも緊張するのに、おしゃべりしたりお菓子もらったり、しかもお姫様抱っこまでされちゃうなんて、心臓がいくつあっても足りないよ。
Aqua collapses at her desk. There's absolutely no way she can let Theo or Fubuki see her like this.
でも嫌じゃなかったんだよね。テオの顔見るだけで嬉しくなっちゃったし、もっとおしゃべりしたいって思っちゃったし、
You know, this is making me want
一緒にいたいって思っちゃった。
a whole life Fire Emblem game even more.
それに昔と変わらず優しかったし、可愛いって言ってくれたし。ダメ、変な顔になっちゃう。
Aqua recalls Theo's kind words, and her face lights up bright red.
ダメだよテオ、あんまり私優しくしちゃう。私わがままになる。昔のことを全部教えて、私の本当の気持ち伝えたくなっちゃうよ。そんなことできっこないんだけどね。テオに迷惑かけちゃうし、お嬢様との約束だって。
A whole Fire Emblem ROM hack is in the making. Yeah, I've seen it in the subreddit, in the Hololive subreddit. I haven't seen it in a while though, so I wonder what's the stage of development. I'll definitely play it, 100%. Based on FE8 and GBA. Good. Because I'll play it on stream as soon as it's out, probably.
私がどうかしましたか？
お嬢様、どうしてここに？
ちょっと甘いものが欲しくなりまして。何かありますか？
ちょっと待ってください。
Aqua jumps out of her chair and starts to search the shelves.
マリンからこの辺りにお菓子はまとめてあるって聞いてて、クッキー見つけました。
Aqua opens a big container containing raisin cookies and shows it to Fubuki.
ありがとうございます。いくつか持っていきますね。
わざわざいらっしゃらなくてもお声掛けいただければお持ちしますけど。
ちょっと館の中を散歩したい気分だったんです。気にしないでください。
Fubuki takes a few cookies and wraps them neatly in their handkerchief.
そういえばテオの部屋の掃除は終わったようですね。どうでしたか？初仕事は。
とても緊張しましたし、ちょっと失敗してしまいました。
でもテオは笑って許してくれたでしょ？
はい、とても優しかったです。
そうでしょう。自慢の弟ですからね。貴族の息子としては優しすぎるところもありますけど、それもテオの美徳でしょう。立派に育ってフランソワ家を継いでくれることを期待しています。女では家を継げませんからね。
Old times, you know. Fubuki and Theo's mother passed away from an illness when they were still very young. Because of that, Fubuki is not just Theo's older sister, but almost like a nurturing mother figure to him. In other words, nothing in the world is more precious to Fubuki than Theo.
それでテオは昔のことを思い出しそうですか？
まだわかりません。今日は思い出していないようでした。
そうですか。まあもう少し様子を見ましょう。アクアさん、あなたを雇った理由ちゃんと覚えていますか？
ご主人様の記憶を取り戻すためですよね。
ええ。テオは記憶を取り戻さない限り悪夢を見続けるでしょう。このまま続いてしまえば精神を病んでしまうかもしれません。
Aqua falls silent as she feels the weight of it all on her shoulders. Noticing this, Fubuki gently smiles.
ですがアクアさんがそばにいれば早く、そして自然と記憶を取り戻すことができるでしょう。失った記憶の中に存在する女の子はあなたの仕事はできる限りテオのそばにいること。決して無理に過去を思い出させようとしてはいけませんよ。
心得ています、お嬢様。
Aqua nods sincerely at the reminder she has heard many times since they first met. You mustn't ever talk about the past when you are with Theo. Aqua, I will take you in to be his maid until he regains his memories. That is the promise that Fubuki and Aqua made.
ありがとう、アクアさん。あなたのおかげで希望が持てます。
Does that mean Aqua will have to leave once Theo recovers his memories?
テオのいる前では主人として振る舞わなく
Wouldn't
てはい
that
けない
become
ですが、
a problem though?
いない時
Because
で
I'm
あれば
pretty sure
もっと気軽に
neither
接
of
して
them
くだ
wants
さ
to
い。
split after that.
あなたはメイドではなく私の協力者なのですから。
はい、お嬢様。
ちょっと硬いですね。マリンとは親しく話していると聞いてますよ。もっと気楽に。
無理ですよ。だってお嬢様はお嬢様じゃないですか。
じゃあフブキって呼び捨てにしてみるとか。
そんなことできるわけないじゃないですか。余計に無理です。
慌てるアクアさんは可愛いですね。もっとからかいたくなります。
意地悪しないでくださいよ。もう
ごめんなさい。私は部屋に戻りますね。
There you see, Fubuki has all the confidence that Theo does not.
テオのこと、これからもよろしくお願いします。
Fubuki merrily leaves the kitchen. Now alone, Aqua ponders over what Fubuki told her.
テオのそばにいる代わりに過去の出来事は一切口にしてはいけない。テオのためにもちゃんと守らなきゃ。アクアリウム。
A few days have passed since I first met Miss Aqua, and I have another dream. Ouch, my ears. I'm standing on a beach. It's called Rokkenjima, haunted by the golden witch Beatrice. I look around and realize it's the same cove that's always in my dreams. I stand there, feeling the humid breeze on my cheeks, under a dark, ominous cloud blanketing the sky, which looks like it could start pouring at any moment. I'm sure that I'm waiting here for someone, but who? Soon, everything turns pitch black, and the dream comes to a halt. In the end, I never find out who I'm waiting for.
ご主人様。
I feel my body being gently yet hesitantly shaken by something. It's so gentle. It feels like it's cradling me into a deeper sleep.
困ったな。全然起きないよ。大丈夫ですか？ご主人様。ご主人様？
Miss Aqua is starting to sound a bit flustered. I suppose I shouldn't cause her any more worry. With some effort, I pull my consciousness back towards the waking world. As I slowly open my eyes, I see Miss Aqua's big eyes peering at me. Oh, good morning.
ああ、よかった。目が覚めたんですね。心配しました。
Well, that waking up session went much better than when Marin did it. Sorry, I didn't hear you knock.
何度ノックしてもご主人様の返事がなかったんです。勝手に入ったらまずいかなとも思ったんですけど、もし体調悪いんだったらいけないと思って。勝手に部屋に入るのまずかったですか？
There's nothing in here I wouldn't want you to see or anything, so it's fine.
よかった。怒られたらどうしようって心配してたんです。
Do I seem like a person who gets angry easily?
いえ、ご主人様がどうのってわけじゃなくて、ごめんなさい。なんでもないです。
Don't worry, I don't mind. Relax and take your time to find the right words.
でも、私の話なんて聞いてもきっと面白くないだろうし。
I don't think that at all. In fact, I'd love to know more about you, Miss Aqua.
どうしてそんなに私のこと
Like your
気に
singing
かけて
ability.
くれるんですか？
Maybe that would help Pale recover his memories. That's because my words catch in my throat. It's true that there aren't many nobles who would act so friendly with a simple maid. Despite that, I find myself continuing to speak kindly to Miss Aqua. Well, I simply can't leave you be, Miss Aqua.
それってもしかして私があまりにもドジすぎていつ何かやらかすんじゃないかって心配して。
Because you are adorable, Aqua, that's why. No, that's not what I mean. I mean, you're cute, so my eyes can't help but be drawn to you.
もうご主人様、また変なこと言って。そんなに私を照れさせるの楽しいですか？
In an instant, Miss Aqua's face turns bright red, making her look even more adorable. That said, I guess I shouldn't say stuff like that so much. Oh yeah, I had another dream today. The moment I say that, Miss Aqua freezes in place.
例の悪夢ですか？
I think so. But today's dream was different. As I tell her about the dream, Miss Aqua becomes rather fidgety.
ご主人様は誰を待っていたのか思い出せたんですか？
No, not at all. I'm not even sure it's a person I'm waiting for.
そうですか。
For some reason, Miss Aqua's shoulders slump in disappointment.
でも新し
She
い
was
夢
really
が見ら
hoping
れ
you
て
would
よかっ
remember.
たじゃないですか。毎日同じ夢だとつまらないですからね。
Yeah, I imagine that would be really boring to have the same dream every single day. That would be really boring.
きっと明日はもっと楽しい夢を見られますよ。
Seeing her smile like that gives me hope that it might actually come true. I've always hated my dreams, but now I'm kind of looking forward to them.
それじゃ窓開けますね。
My dreams are very random. Very, very random. Like, really random. Today I dreamt about Aski for some reason. I don't know why Aski in particular, but I dreamt about Aski. His Aqua opens the large window to the balcony, letting fresh air and sunlight pour inside. I feel the warm summer breeze carrying the sound of rustling leaves.
もう夏ですね。ご主人様、暑くありませんか？
You guys also have that feeling of having sometimes dreams about characters, but those characters that you dream about aren't even your favorite characters in whatever show they belong to. That happens to me a lot with like anime and games that I play, where I dream about certain characters from those animes and games that I play. But I never dream about my favorite characters. I dream about, you know, another unrelated character. Hell, even Hololive, even that happens with Vtubers to me. My Oshi is Pekora, but I've never dreamt about Pekora, not even once. Instead, the whole member that I've dreamt about the most is Sora for some reason. I like Sora, but, you know, I wouldn't consider her my favorite. You know, I have a bunch of favorites. I like Sora a lot, but she's not my favorite. But she's the one member that I've dreamt about the most of all Vtubers. For some reason. And for some reason, those dreams with Sora tend to be very action-packed. Like, really action-packed. Like, could be straight from an action show. Like, I remember the first dream I had about Tokino Sora. We were in the same team in a battle royale underground organization thingy that was being controlled by Vladimir Putin. So we had to survive, you know, that, and then Putin got angry, so he hired a bunch of mercenaries. He hired the goddamn Red Constellation mercenaries from Trails to kill everyone. So basically Sora and I had to pretend to be dead so that they would just ignore us, and then we would have to run away through a subway that would lead all the way to Lisbon. It was so weird. So weird. But that was the first dream I had about Tokino Sora. It's just one example of the dreams I tend to have. Now that you mention it, I guess I'm a little sweaty.
では、着替えとタオルを用意しますね。
What did you do that day to make your mind come up with that? I don't know, my dreams tend to be like that. For some reason, they're very action-packed. They're like crazy. I can remember this one dream. This one dream where like there was like this alien ship that crashed in Lisbon again. And then I forgot, there was someone there, but I don't remember who it was anymore. But it was super cool. Those dreams are very, very fun. Use the Red Constellation. Yeah, I thought I was dead when I was dreaming that about the Red Constellation. I thought I was dead because, like, well, if Bloody Shirley passes through here, she's gonna know I'm pretending to be dead, so she's gonna kill me immediately after. But fortunately, she didn't pass through. But then that part of the dream was scary though. So apparently, the guys from the Red Constellation in the dream, they could see through walls somehow. They had goddamn wall hacks, and people hiding behind walls, they would just get shot down because the walls were so paper thin that the guys from the Red Constellation could just shoot through the walls and kill people through the walls. That was so scary when I saw like a guy like die just in front of me like that. Like, holy fuck, that's the moment I decided, alright, time to pretend to be dead. And it worked. It worked. I guess I have a very fertile imagination. I do like writing, so maybe that's it. Misako brings me a fresh new set of clothes and a towel, and turns the other way so that I can get changed. I quickly dry off my damp neck, get changed, and lightly fold my pajamas. You wash these for me?
はい、わかりました。
After handing out my pajamas, I look in the mirror to fix up my hair. Damn, can't read. That's quite some bedhead. Miss Aqua, could you get that brush for me? Miss Aqua? She's frozen in place, staring intently at my pajamas. Her expression is so serious, I can practically feel the tension in the air. Miss Aqua, hello?
何ですか？
I was wondering if you could perhaps get me that brush.
すみません。はい、どうぞ。
She hands me the brush and immediately grabs my pajamas again. Is there something wrong with my pajamas?
いえ、そういうわけじゃなくて、ちょっと気になって。
While saying this, her eyes drift back to the pajamas in question. Is it just my imagination, or does her face look a little red?
いえ、なんでもないです。
It's because your pajamas are a very intimate piece of clothing. She feels embarrassed, obviously.
じゃあ私お洗濯物を置いてきますね。それでは。
Is something amiss, Miss Aqua? Ah, Miss Aqua! Concerned by her strange behavior, I hastily trail behind her tracks. But when I enter the hallway, there's no sign of her anywhere. I wonder where she went. Oh, the common room door is open. Could she be in here? Eh?
これがテオのパジャマ。
Eh?
しかも脱ぎたて。
Eh? Hentai-san?
こんなことメイドがしちゃいけないって分かってるけど、今日だけだから。
This is not the Aqua that I know. Who are you? Is this Marin who took over Aqua's body? What? I don't remember Aqua being a pervert. What the hell? Inside, I find Miss Aqua sitting on the floor, clutching my pajamas to her chest. What's she doing, I wonder?
誰もいないよね。こんなところ誰かに見られたら恥ずかしくて死んじゃうし。誰もいない。よし、やっちゃうぞ。
I think Marin must have messed up with her head. She seems to have made up her mind, and she slowly raises the pajamas to the tip of her nose. That has to be Sencho, yeah.
くんくん。
Yep.
汗の匂いすっごく濃い。でもそれ以外の匂いもする。何の匂いだろう。
Alright, this is the first time I ever see Aqua in a situation like this, ever. Usually she's the one calling others perverts. What the hell? This is a secret side of Aqua I didn't know about. What? Could she be a closet pervert just like Pecora? I guess Pecora and Aqua really have a lot in common, huh? Yep, she's going at it. She's taking deep breaths while holding my pajamas right up to her face. Just what's going on here? Is she sniffing my pajamas? That is some Matsuri behavior right there. I'm so taken aback by her strange behavior that all I can do is stare dumbfoundedly.
これがテオの匂いなんだね。汗臭いだけかと思ってたけど、果物のいい匂いがする。
Fruity scent.
甘い香りなんだけど、どこか爽やかでオレンジオイルの匂いかな。
She hits it right on the nail. I always apply orange oil as a moisturizer before going to bed. Why on earth is she sniffing my pajamas anyway?
こんなところ
Closet
興味は見せられない
pervert.
よね。私が匂いフェチのことバレちゃうし。
Smell fetish. Wait. Is this an actual thing though? I mean, I've never heard about Aqua's fetishes. There's a lot of members that have talked about their fetishes on stream, but I've never heard of Aqua's fetishes. Does she actually have a smell fetish? I know that there's other members that do have a smell fetish. For example, Choco likes good smells. Choco has a smell fetish, but she particularly likes good smells, like stuff like shampoo. Things like that. Not that I know of. I think Lapras likes hands. Let's see. And there's many more. Luna has a fetish of holding in her pee, for example. I already found out those, or so I say to myself. Besides, I'm sure everyone has a secret hobby or two that they don't want anyone to know. I want to get a better look at her face. I slowly lean in closer to get a better look, but I accidentally bump the door, making it creak. Now my cover's completely blown, so I give myself up and open the door. I'm sorry, I didn't intend to eavesdrop. Now, there you go, she's going to die now. She's going to die of embarrassment now. I was curious where he went rushing off to. Oh, for example, in this case, Aqua is the cat. By the way, Pekura has a crying fetish. As in, making the other person cry. Miss Aqua gulps at me while snarling. Then she lets out a big sigh, slowly placing both her hands on the floor. You're not gonna get fired, Aqua, it's fine. It's fine if you're a pervert, you can just come out with it. Keeping her hands firmly on the ground, she lowers her head. Wait a minute, I haven't said a thing yet. Are you kidding me? We hired Marin. I think at this point, it's completely fine if you're a creepy maid. You can't beat Marin on that point. Marin literally assaults us. What do you mean, Aqua? I don't really mind. Already used to it. Everyone has their own thing. Besides, as long as no one's harmed, there's no foul play. Really, it's fine. Compared to sister, you're a paragon of normalcy. Wait, Fubuki is also a pervert. I mean, IRL Fubuki, I know she has her tastes, right? But really, fictional Fubuki as well. You've seen her habit of drowning all her food in super spicy sauce, right? Miss Marin is quite a character too, come to think of it. So compared to them... Eh? Her sudden question makes me ponder. I don't think it's especially strange, but I do enjoy training in my spare time. After all, as the heir to the Francois family, I have to build a strong body. Yeah, compared to my usual weights, you were light as a feather. Wait, what do you mean? You said you used to lift 40 kilograms, and she's like 4.5 kilograms heavier. What do you mean? Skinny guy strength. Fortunately, my body isn't really fit to build a lot of muscle, and I have narrow shoulders too. I'm sure this causes sister excess worry. Even though I work out and practice swordsmanship daily without fail, it hasn't done much to improve my physique. You gotta eat a lot of meat! Get those proteins on! Sure, go right ahead. I flex my arm, showing off my biceps. She then pokes it with her fingertip. Anyone that likes Aqua, start taking notes. She gazes at me with such admiration that I begin to feel self-conscious, so I look away to hide my embarrassment. I'm only doing what would be expected of a man of the Francois family. But it's not enough. I need to be recognized as a worthy heir. Or I'll be letting sister and father down.
お父様のことはよく知りませんけど、お嬢様はご主人様のこと大好きですよ。だから失望なんてしないと思いますし、そう焦ることも。
Unfortunately, I can't afford to be easy on myself. If I don't prove myself to be a capable heir, I'll be nothing more than dead weight for sister. I've burdened her enough already, so I have to be able to stand tall on my own as soon as I can. As I tell Miss Aqua my resolve, she downcasts her eyes but firmly grips my hands.
一人で背負い込まないでください。私がご主人様を支えましゅ。支えます。
Cute. She bites her tongue at the most inopportune time.
大それたこと言ってるのも、今の私じゃ足手まといになることも分かってます。メイドとしても半人前だし、頭もそんなに良くないし、ドジだし。でも手を支えたいと思っているのは本当なの。だからもっと私を頼って。
Just give her a gun. Or a weapon. And she'll serve us quite well. She's ferocious on the battlefield after all.
また私ご主人様のこと呼び捨てに。ごめんなさい、悪気はないんです。
I don't mind at all. Don't worry about it. Rather, thank you for encouraging me. I feel that my shoulders are lighter with your kind words, Miss Aqua.
本当ですか？ならよかったですけど、私ってば大胆なこと言っちゃって恥ずかしいです。
It's alright, Aqua. You have permission to sniff. More importantly, will you have enough time to help prepare breakfast? We've been talking for quite some time now.
いけない、マリンに叱られる。ご主人様、これで失礼します。
Miss Aqua quickly bows her head and rushes out of the room, still clutching my pajamas. As I see her off, I think back to what she just said. Wanting to support me, huh? Well, that should be the other way around. Sister told me that I should be the one supporting you. But you know, for some reason when I'm around you, I feel at ease. I got
アクアリウム。
an achievement.
ご
Caught
めんなさい、
red-handed.
遅くなりました。
Right, let's save. Because we haven't saved in a while. I think we do have autosaves on, but just in case. Just in case.
本当に大丈夫？
はい、大丈夫です。大丈夫です。
遅い。もうちょっとで呼びに行くところだったじゃない。スープの仕上げお願い。下味つけるところまでやってあるから。
Aqua nods and takes out the seasoning from the cupboard. Uh-oh, I'm about to get hungry again. They're gonna start talking about food once again, and I'm gonna be hungry. She then looks down at the simmering pot in front of the brick furnace. Marin swiftly maneuvers her hands and begins to arrange the finished dishes.
で、どうしてこんなに遅くなったの？ご主人様がなかなか起きなかったとか？それもあったけど。
Aqua did something you would be very proud of, Marin.
何もったいぶらないで早く教えなさいよ。言えるわけないじゃん、あんな恥ずかしいこと。テオのパジャマの匂い
The
嗅いで
Crimson
ました
Storm Voyager,
なんて
yeah.
絶対に秘密だし。しかもその後勢いで恥ずかしいこと言っちゃったし、最後は噛んだし。ご主人様を支えますなんて気持ちに嘘はないけど、テオに変な子だって思われたよ絶対。私のバカ。
That's why they call her Bakwa.
どうもアクタンの顔が赤いような。もしかして。
Uh-oh. You know Marin is about to think very extreme things. Marin puts the plate she's holding down on the table.
もしかして。ついにやったのね。
I knew it. Coming from Marin. Of course she would immediately think of that.
何を？何に決まってるでしょ。何に？そうか、アクタンも大人の階段登っちゃったのね。お姉さん感慨深いわ。いや、マリンとは一切血はつながってないけど、でも思った以上に早かったわね。どっちから迫ったの？全然話が見えない。何が言いたいのよ。だから。
Setting sail. Marin whispers in Aqua's ears.
バカじゃないの？そんなことするわけないでしょ。大丈夫大丈夫、ちゃんと黙っててあげるから。恥ずかしがることないじゃん。だから違うって、そんなハレンチなことしてないから。違ったか。
That's only in your route, Marin.
まあご主人様もアクタンも遅れそうだしね。じゃあなんで遅れたの？いろいろあったの。いろいろ。
Aqua recalls what happened.
ああ、もうなんであんなこと言っちゃったかな。
I'm pretty sure Marin is the only reason why this game has like a mature rating on Steam.
嘘は言ってないけど、テオとは身分が違うんだし、言い方があるじゃない。テオは怒ってないって言ってたけど、やっぱり不安だよ。アクタン、悩むのもいいけど手を動かしてね。鍋の底が焦げちゃうよ。ごめんなさい。
Aqua hastily takes the meal ladle. The metal lady. Damn, I can't read. What the hell? Metal lady. The metal ladle and stirs the pot. She then scoops some of the soup onto a small plate to taste it.
具に火が通ったみたい。でもまだ味が薄いかも。
11k already. Oh yeah, you're right. I forgot about that. True, I haven't made the 10k special yet. I really need to get on with that one.
じゃあ調味料で味を整えておいて。場所はわかるでしょ？任せて。
After seeing Aqua reach for the cupboard, Marin goes back to work. A few minutes later.
よし、前菜は完成ね。先に食堂に持って行ってるわ。アクタンもスープ完成したら持ってきてね。愛しのご主人様が待ってるわよ。
Her tattoo is in a very cultured area.
もうマリン。怒った怒った。逃げろ。
Marin takes a tray with appetizers and leaves the kitchen. Aqua, now alone, begins adding seasoning to finish the soup.
何が愛しのご主人様が待ってるわよーよ。そんなんじゃないのに。そりゃあわざわざメイドになってまで会いに来たわけだし、特別な気持ちもなくはないけど、だからって一緒にあんなことやこんなことしたりとか。無理無理、そんなの恥ずかしくて絶対に無理。
By the way, this blushing face of Aqua is just adorable. Aqua's face turns red and she begins to squirm. Meanwhile, she continues to pour the contents of the bottle into the pot.
でもご主人様の趣味が筋トレだなんて意外だったな。軽く体に触ってみたけどすっごくがっちりしてたし、
Rock solid.
それに私が踏み台から落ちそうになった時もお姫様抱っこしてくれたし、それに優しかったし、いい匂いもしたし。アクタン、スープできたの？ご主人様喜んでくれるかな。楽しそうなのはいいけどこぼさないで運んでよ。はーい。さてとデザートの準備しなきゃ。ってアクタンったら調味料出しっぱなしじゃない。砂糖こんなに減って、もしかして。あっねー
She put the whole thing in.
味よりやべー。
Back to
アクアリ
Tale. Miss Aqua enters the dining room pushing a cart.
お待たせしました。ぜひ温かいうちにお召し上がりください。
She then serves me and sister about a bowl of soup. It looks almost clear-like, and the gentle sweet aroma tickles my nose.
今日のスープはアクアさんが作ったのですか？
はい、自信作です。
楽しみですね。後でいただくとしましょう。
Here comes the spice! Yep. As she says this, sister pours devil sauce on her salad. I wonder if she'll do the same to the soup and ruin it.
そわそわ、そわそわ。
Sparkling eyes. Swaying from side to side, Miss Aqua looks at me in excitement, as if she's eagerly waiting for me to take my first sip. It's bad to keep a lady waiting in suspense, so I reach for the soup. Okay, don't mind if I do. While Miss Aqua watches, I take my first sip of the soup. And just as I put the spoon in my mouth... Why is it so sweet? But the spices are still somehow strong. This is truly awful. Simply put, it's almost like I'm biting into a lump of chewy sugar with a spice filling. Mixed with the seasoned meat, the spices and the overwhelming sweetness, it's truly a crime against one's mouth.
どうですか？美味しいですか？
Should I be honest here? What would happen if I told her just how horrible it is?
やっぱり私ダメイドです。
Yeah, that does sound like an aqua reaction, alright?
お料理もまともに作れない匂いフェチの変態メイドなんてご主人様のそばにいちゃいけませんよね。
I won't forget her sniffing our pajamas, that's for sure.
今日でお仕事辞めさせていただきます。短い間でしたがありがとうございました。
Please, hold on a minute, Miss Aqua! Miss Aqua! This is bad. I've got to fix this somehow. Yes, this soup's really delicious.
よかった。遠慮せずどんどん食べてくださいね。
Thank you. Unable to say anything, I take another spoonful of the extremely sweet soup. With every bite, a shiver runs down my spine and my head begins to hurt. But I steel myself and finish it through sheer will. Thank you for the soup.
すごい勢いで食べちゃいましたね。おかわりもありますよ。
No need for that. I'm full now.
ワクワクワクワク。
I guess I could eat more.
はい、ただいま。
It's already too late.
珍しいですね。テオが朝からおかわりをするなんて。
It's Fubuki's right?
そんなに美味しいのでしたら
No, she put the spice.
私も食べてみましょう。
Wait. You really shouldn't.
どうしてです？
Sister hates sweet food, so I'm sure she'll spit it out. Then Miss Aqua will find out that it's bad. It's still a bit piping hot, so you should wait until it cools down first. I somehow managed to convince Sister, and she continues eating the other dishes. But I can't keep fooling her forever. What should I do?
ストップストップ。どうしたのマリン、息を切らせて。あんたのせいじゃろがい。
Bonked. Miss Marin whacks Miss Aqua's head with the side of her hand, making a dull thud sound.
痛い。ちょっと何するのよ。そのスープ味見した？してないかも。でもちゃんとレシピは見てた。
Who puts sugar in the soup
見てたよ
anyways?
ね。
She was supposed to put salt most likely, not sugar.
知らんがな。早く飲んでみなさい。いただきます。何これ、甘い。じゃあテオが食べたのも。
Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. Salutations, Almighty. Hello. Well, yes, it was a little sweet.
ご
まずいならまずいって早く言えばよかったのに。
I thought if I did, I would have hurt Miss Aqua's feelings. But in the end, the truth came out, so I shouldn't have lied. I'm not mad in the slightest. Don't let it bother you either, Miss Aqua. Aqua's maid moment. She actually cleaned! And she sniffed our pajamas! Aqua is a closet pervert.
でもやっちゃいけない失敗をしちゃったと思う。だからちゃんと謝らないと。ご主人様、本当に申し訳ございませんでした。私すっごく反省しています。これからはもっと気をつけます。お料理だけじゃなくて掃除も洗濯も全部。そしていつか一人前のメイドになってご主人様のお役に立てるよう精一杯働きます。
Alright, thank you for coming, Cloudy. No, it's true. Aqua is a closet pervert. She's just like Pecora.
だから私が一人前になるまでそばに置いていただけますか？
Of course, I'd be glad to. I nod firmly, and Miss Aqua smiles like a blooming flower. We have to protect this smile. We have to. Back to studying cave for me. Good luck! And while watching everything unfold, Sister tries the soup.
甘いですね。ものすごく。ですが、捨てるのはもったいないです。味の調整を
She's
しま
gonna
しょう。
put the spice in. Sister picks up the devil sauce and pours it in her soup once. Then 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 times. Don't you think that's a bit much? I mean, she has to compensate for the overwhelming sweetness.
もともとが甘いのですから、まだまだ足りないぐらいですよ。
Sister nonchalantly continues to dye the soup deep red. And after using about a quarter of the jar, she finally stops.
これだけかければ十分でしょう。いただきます。ピリッとしていて美味しいですね。これなら美味しく飲めそうです。
Sister continues to eat the dark red soup with a grin on her face. From her expression, she really makes it look like the most delicious soup ever.
もしかしてテオもデーモンソースを使いたいのかしら？
Sister notices my gaze and places the godforsaken jar emanating a toxic aura in front of me.
いいですよ。好きに使って。
It's kind of funny to think that spices are actually supposed to be poison that plants have in order to protect themselves from predators. And yet we use it as a condiment, you know, to make things taste better. No, what should I do? Alright, we have a choice on our hands. Save.
本当に大丈夫？
Hi. Maybe just a little. Should I really try it? My instincts are raising red flags, warning me not to. I'll definitely regret this. Just thinking about it, I'll regret it either way. Am I really prepared to jump into Sister's hellish world of insanely hot spices? Let's do this! Alright. I guess I shall try a little bit.
正気ですか、ご主人様？そうですよ。無理して食べることありませんって。あれ食べて泡
Just a
吹い
bit
て
of
疾病
spice,
かかっ
that's
た人もい
fine.
るって
Spice
話
is
です
good.
よ。
It's my spice poison will protect me, humans. Ah, yeah, good stuff. Yep. Yeah, pretty much.
あんなもの食べるのは舌がおかしい人だけです。
ずいぶんな言われようですね。
あ、いや、ちょっと言葉を間違えちゃっただけで深い意味は。
Sister just continues smiling and looks towards me. I've gone and done it now. There's no way out of this.
さあテオ、遠慮なくデーモンソースを使ってください。
She hands me a jar filled with an ominous dark red liquid. My eyes are already starting to tingle. Thank you. I desperately struggle to control my trembling hands as I drizzle a few drops of the sauce into the soup. However, despite using so little, the pungent smell is so horrid that I can barely keep myself from coughing.
あら、たった数滴ですか？遠慮せず、もっと使っていいんですよ。
No, this is plenty for me. Regretting my rash decision mere minutes ago, I mix the sauce and soup, hoping that it'll soften the spiciness, even if it's just a little. Off to the side, Miss Aqua and Miss Marin are already preparing water and towels just in case I collapse. Don't drink water. Water isn't gonna help. It's something else. Milk. Orange juice. Not water. Well then. Accepting my fate, I scoop up a spoonful of the soup. Fortunately, the soup still looks relatively normal, but there's no denying the reeking, piquant odor that it now gives off.
ご主人様、どうかご無事で。
I pray for my soul. Namu Amida Butsu. Rinpyo to Shakai Jin Retsu Zaizen!
骨は拾いますよ。
In contrast to the two cheering for me on the side, Sister simply watches on with a smile. This is it. There is no escape. Here I go. Bracing myself, I open my mouth wide and eat a spoonful. Then immediately gulp it down before the spiciness can spread throughout my mouth.
ご主人様、本当に食べちゃった。ほら、お水ですよ。タオルも持ってきましたよ。これに入っちゃっていいですから。
I raise my hand to stop them as they frantically rush up to me, and I prepare for the shock that is about to erupt from the very core of my body. First, I feel a burning and stabbing pain well up from the back of my throat. Next, sweat breaks out all over my body, and I start hyperventilating.
ご主人様の顔真っ赤だよ。死んじゃダメ、ご主人様。私、まだご主人様に伝えてないことたくさんあるのに、お別れしたくないよ。ご主人様、しっかりして、ご主人様。
So delicious.
え？
Delicious! This is mouth-watering! You've got to try this, Miss Aqua!
いやいやいや、絶対やばいじゃないですか。すっごく辛そうな匂いしてますし、ご主人様も顔真っ
That's
赤
what
で
in
すよ。
Portuguese we call agridoce. It's definitely spicy. This sauce is no joke. But there's a savory taste within the spiciness that gives it a deep flavor. Anyway, you'll see what I mean. Here, give it a try. I hold up the devil sauce-infused soup in front of Miss Aqua.
すごい匂い。ご主人様、嘘ついてないですよね。
Really, I'm not lying, so just try it.
そこまで言うなら、いただきます。
Miss Aqua takes a spoonful of the soup and raises it towards her mouth.
やっぱりすごい匂い。絶対辛いよこれ。でもご主人様は絶対美味しいって言ってたし、いただきます。
The moment Miss Aqua puts the spoon in her mouth, Miss Marin gives a snappy clap.
っていうかそれご主人様のスプーンだし、関節キスなんじゃ？
Of course Marin would say something like this.
もうアクタンってば大げさ。今さら関節キスであたふたするとしてもないでしょ。
Miss Aqua wildly shakes her head while keeping her mouth closed. Her eyes are brimming with tears as her complexion changes from red to blue and then to white. Miss Aqua? Hello? Are you okay?
もうダメあたり。
She died. Miss Aqua? Suddenly, the life drains out of Miss Aqua's body and she begins to fall backwards. I panic and grab her slim shoulders to support her.
もうアクタンってば演技派ね。 ご主人様が平然としてるんだから、そんなに辛いわけないじゃない。どれどれ、私も一口ペロリ。うわー、なんじゃこりゃー
なんじゃこりゃー Not Miss Marin too. How did things end up like this?
ようやく我が一族の宿命に気づいたのね。ようこそテオ、こちら側の世界へ。
There is no turning back, Theo. This is it. You are now a spice connoisseur. What? What are you saying, sister?
すべてですよ。我が一族の運命も今後何をするべきなのかも。
Destiny? Just what are you?
フランソワ家は代々超激辛好きの家系だったのです。
What? But isn't that just because families tend to have similar tastes and interests?
甘いですよテオ。フランソワ家が軍人一家だというのは知っての通りです。軍人には何が必要か。そう、それは忍耐力です。
Rip Marin, it's the third time I see Marin dying today, oh?
痛み、暑さ、寒さ、疲労。戦場では様々な困難に耐えなくてはいけません。
That and much more.
つまり、辛みに耐えられる私たち一族は、忍耐力に特化した一族とも言えるわけです。
That sounds like a bit of a stretch.
テオも時間はかかりましたが、ようやく辛みに目覚めてくれました。これでやっと私の悲願が達成できます。
Theo can now become the heir of the family. He can now survive the spices. She firmly grasps my hand.
さあ、共に向かいましょう。遥か彼方へ、さらなる激辛を求めて。より強い刺激が私たちを待っていますよ。
Eh? Just hold on a second. Like, yeah, the soup with the devil's sauce was delicious. That doesn't mean I love everything about hot and spicy now.
果たして本当にそうでしょうか。
Saying that, Sister picks up the jar of devil's sauce. She then pours an undiluted dollop of it onto an unused spoon.
今のテオならどんな激辛ソースも美味しく感じるでしょう。さあテオ、一思いに飲み込むのです。このデーモンソースを。
Wait, even if you say that, there's no way I can eat this. Can eat it as is.
果たしてそうでしょうか。テオも気づいているんじゃないですか。実は体がさらなる激辛を欲しているということに。
No, it can't be. Continue to deny it, but I can't hide the fact that my mouth is watering. I swear, taken out of context, this could be like, you know, description of a succubus scene right now. Like a moth to the flame, I slowly reach out to the devil's sauce.
心配しないでください。フランスワ家の人間にとって激辛を求めてしまうのは自然なこと。さあ共に落ちましょう。辛みの沼へ。
With a saintly smile, Sister beckons to me. I take the spoon and stare into the pungent sauce. Ugh, this isn't right. I feel like I'd be throwing away my humanity if I were to enjoy this.
いいじゃないですか。人間をやめても兄弟の絆は永遠なんですから。
She died twice in Subaru's stream where she let Subaru play a game. She made. Oh yeah, I saw that clip. Nekomikukuri clipped it. I watch every single one of that Clipper's clips. Is a really good Clipper. Sister. Guided by my sister's words, I put the spoon in my mouth. The spiciness is beyond incomparable to the soup I just had. The piercing pain feels like it's melting my brain.
いかがですか、レーモンソースの味は。
It hurts. Almost like I swallowed a bunch of needles, but it's really delicious. Sister nods in satisfaction at my words.
次第にテオはより強い辛さを求めるようになるでしょう。
I can.
私がそうであるように。
I can relate with Marin dying internally to seeing someone else enjoy something that she made like a long time ago. Because I myself tend to cringe whenever I read or someone reads the book that I wrote when I was in high school. It's fully finished, and you know, I'm very proud of it, but at the same time it's very embarrassing. What could possibly be spicier than the devil's sauce?
金のからしキング。その辛さはデーモンソースを軽く上回ると言い伝えられています。
Golden pepper? Magic peppers are one of the ingredients used to make the devil's sauce. But they're red. I've never heard of a golden one before. Truly cannot fathom how anything could be spicier. I find myself staring at the devil's sauce. And deep within my body, I feel an urge, a desire for greater stimulation. Yep, it sounds like a goddamn succubus plot right now.
では行きましょうか。金のからしキングを探しに。ここから遠く離れた山奥に存在するそうです。
The two of us? What about the mansion?
マリンに任せておけばどうにかするでしょう。
So Fubuki has her own route.
それより私はもういても立ってもいられないんです。早く強い刺激が欲しい。
I just can't believe it. You were your usual self just yesterday.
テオの前だから我慢していたんですよ。でもあなたもこちら側の人間になりましたし、もう我慢する必要もないかなと思って。
This taken out of context feels so wrong.
それともテオはこんなお姉さんは嫌いですか？
There's no way I could ever hate you, sister.
よかった。テオに嫌われたらどうしようと思っていました。では共に向かいましょう。金のからしキングを探しに。
Yep, that's the route we're going on right now. And with that, we set out from the mansion and head towards a remote forest, with the goal of finding the legendary golden magic pepper. Look, sister, isn't this a magnificent magic pepper? I wonder if there's a golden one hiding around here somewhere.
きっとそうよ。早速手分けして探しましょう。
We get our hands dirty raking through the magic pepper leaves. And as we forage looking for a golden sparkle, we also pick some of the red peppers we find. However, hours pass, and we have yet to find the lustrous golden magic pepper.
まあ、そう簡単に見つかったら幻って言われないですよね。気長に行きましょう。
No, Alabama, please. We have enough of this is the Finana's route. Actually, this is worse than the Finana's route because, see, the Finana route, there were no blood ties. In here, there is 100% blood ties. So this is proper Alabama. Akaina, wait! I get it! Wait, I get it. Wait. I just now got it. Akaina.
赤いのしか見つからない。赤いな。
Yep, it's a reference to her like shiny hunting a Magikarp. She wanted to find a gold Magikarp, but she could only find the red ones. Because, you know, gold one is a shiny. Shinies have like a very rare encounter rate. Right, this is a reference. She took her a long time to finally get a golden Magikarp. Proper Alabama sounds so wrong. Sorry.
諦めちゃダメだよ、フータくん。どうしてこんなに見つかりませんの？失礼しちゃいますわ。見つからないよ。赤いよ。
Yeah, this is just a reference to the shiny hunting of the Magikarp.
金色の絵の具で塗れば解決するのかな。
If this goes just like her streams though, she eventually will find it. Sister looks at the red magic peppers with Of course they're called Magi Peppers, because Magi Pepper, Magikarp, of course! Genius! Wow. I'm so stupid for not having realized it earlier. Wow. It's been days since we've been in the mountains, and it seems as though she's reached her physical and mental limits. However, just when I'm about to suggest we go home... She found one. What's the matter? Sister shifts her gaze between me and her own hands, her mouth agape. There we go. Shiny hunt complete. Wow, the peppers in this pot are all gold. This will surely be enough for a feast. Maybe you should do a plantation of them.
ただいま戻りました。さあマリー、これを使って料理を作って。
うわ、生きてた？え、マジで金の返しキング取ってきたんですか？
Added in the pepper decks. Nice one.
私はやるときはやりますから。テオも手伝ってくれましたし。さあさあマリー、早く調理してください。わ
かりました。ちょっと待っててくださいね。
After waiting in the dining room for a while, Miss Aqua and Miss Marin bring us our meal. It's covered with a silver lid, so I can't tell what kind of dish they prepared. Ooh, speaking about visual novels, something that came up to my mind and I completely forgot. But I forgot Nishisanji has a personality quiz that was made by Tsukinomito, I think. And I think that one also has a translation, like an actual English translation for it. So I was thinking that after we finish Aquarium, we could do the Nishisanji personality quiz that Tsukinomito made. Where basically the result will give you like a JP member of Nishisanji that is most like you. Anyways. It's covered with a silver lid, so I can't tell what kind of dish they prepared.
できました。
Who's crying? Thank you very much. Why are your eyes so red? Just preparing it was painful. It's so spicy that the air itself becomes spicy.
だってからしキング炒めてたら目が痛くて。マジつら。ありえない。ご主人様、これ本当に食べるんですか？作っておいてあれですけど、人が食べるものじゃないような。
アクアさんは大げさですね。私たちは辛いの大好きですから、心配無用ですよ。ね、テオ。
Don't worry, I'll make sure to enjoy every bite.
どうなっても知りませんからね。じゃあ、蓋を取りますよ。開けたら私たちは全力で逃げるので。
You're gonna run as if it's a grenade. Why is that? This is a really rare spice, so perhaps you should try it as...
無理です、無理です。あんなに辛いの食べたらお腹壊しちゃいますって。
They're not Francois, they cannot handle it.
開けますよ。3、2、1、撤収
The moment the lid comes off, the two bolt out faster than you can blink. Teo speedrunning his life. Then, a stimulating smell envelops my senses, making me drool in anticipation.
おお、魚の辛み油煮ですか。これは痺れそうですね。
Staring at the dish, Sister gulps in anticipation. It's a fish fillet soaking in a pool of rich, spice-infused oils.
では、早速、いただきます。
I'm getting hungry now. Perhaps too excited in anticipation, Sister picks up her fork, without saying a prayer. She then cuts off a big piece of the fillet, soaks it in the spicy oil, and stuffs it whole into her mouth. さすがマリン、
辛さを最大限に引き出す方法を熟知していますね。
Sister, let me try to.
一緒に食べましょう。
Unable to hold back anymore, I also dig in. And in a matter of minutes, we finish our meal while sweating all over. Ah, that was so delicious. Not only was it spicy, but also very savory.
でも、もっと辛くてもよかったですね。
She's not satisfied. She wants it even spicier. I think so too. It was spicy, perhaps a bit spicier than the devil's sauce, but it was missing that extra punch.
足りない。こんなものでは。
Eh? Ever since then, Sister and I continued our search for even more tantalizing spices. On one occasion, we protected a small merchant group that we had chanced upon from beasts.
さえずれ鳳凰ルデ
May they have
ン。
magic?
礼には及びません。困ってる人を見かけたら助けるのはフランソワ家のものとして当然のこと。
Hey, they said they practiced swordsmanship. They didn't know they were magicians as well.
どうしてもお礼をということであれば、一緒に激辛料理を食べに行きませんか？
On another, we ventured deep underground in search of the legendary super spicy treasure left behind by an ancient empire of yore.
おや？こんなところに人が。
Is there someone inside the treasure box?
足をくじいてしまったと。それはいけない。すぐに手当てをしましょう。
Bubuki's a witch. She learned from Mio.
礼には及びません。激辛を求める者は皆同志ですから。
We continued on our quest, traveling all over the lands, punishing evil, defeating beasts, and helping all those in need. And half a year later, we finally returned to the mansion after fully immersing ourselves in the culinary art of spicy dishes from many regions. You gotta travel to Southeast Asia. There you find a lot of spice. I feel proud as a Portuguese man. Finding... You should have probably asked Marin. Give her a ship and find the maritime routes to India. Then you can get more spices. And then you control the spice trade in Southeast Asia. That's what the Francois need to do. Wait a minute, something's wrong. A crowd of people stands around the nostalgic front entrance to our home.
だからいつお嬢様たちが帰ってくるか私たちも知らないんだ。
We were absent the whole time. That means no one was ruling the lands. In the center of the horde is Miss Aqua frantically trying to fend them off.
帰ってきたらちゃんと連絡するからしばらく街で待っててよ。あ、お嬢様が帰ってきた。皆さん、お嬢様が帰ってきましたよ。
But they are now carrying all pitchforks, and they will just slit our throats now. Guillotine time. The moment Miss Aqua says that, the crowd looks towards us in unison. They then rush up to Sister, surround her, and let out their voices all at once. And make Chinese addicted to opium. That was the British, not the Portuguese. Thanks to Lady Fubuki, I've decided to live an honest life. Lady Fubuki, you saved my life! Oh, wait, they're not angry? The people bow repeatedly as they thank Sister.
何がなんだか。
あれ、皆さん、お嬢様に助けられたからお礼を言いたいって館に集まってきたんですけど。
ああ、そんなこともあったような。激辛食材を探すついでに人助けをした気がしますね。でもこんなに大勢の人を助けましたっけ？
We did help them, Sister, but you only had eyes for the spices, so you probably just forgot.
どうも激辛が絡むと他のことは目に入らなくなるので。それで私はこれからどうすればいいんですか？皆さんの感謝の気持ちはよーく伝わりましたけど。
それが皆さん言葉だけじゃなくて行動で感謝を伝えたいって言ってまして。 何かお嬢様の方から皆さんにしてほしいことありますかね？
そうですね。ピコーン、ひらめきました。みんなで激辛料理を食べましょう。
Uh-oh. She's gonna kill
な
everyone.
んでです？
She's going to kill everyone.
世界各地を巡り、激辛料理に必要な食材も試したいレシピもたくさん入手してきました。
That sound effect is Inumineko.
至高の激辛料理を食べ、共にその美味しさを分かち合いましょう。
いや、それなんて罰ゲーム。
Despite Miss Aqua letting her true thought slip, the people gathered all happily, agreed to Sister's wish.
決まりですね。さあ、
We're about to see a
忙しくな
massacre
りますよ。
worse
私も手伝います。
than the things Elizabeth Bathory used to do.
アクアさん、マリンを呼んできて。それと台所を借りますよ。
Yep, the Francois massacre. With that, Sister hurries into the mansion.
待ってください、お嬢様、お嬢様。
And 1 hour later,
さあ皆さん、カラカラーニュと地獄魚のからしきん具合ができましたよ。
there's a reason why all of those things have like references to hell. All those names.
おかわりもありますから、たくさん食べてくださいね。
The Red Wedding from Game of Thrones, yep. With a radiant, beaming smile, Sister emerges from the mansion entrance, carrying a large pot brimming with food. Miss Marin and Miss Aqua follow behind her, passing out dishes to the crowd of people. Mesmerized by the tantalizing smell, everyone begins to eat with abandon. Spicy, delicious, I want more, calls for seconds, echo in the front. Wait, really? They like it?
激辛料理がみんなに受け入れられて嬉しいです。今後も激辛好きの同士が増えれば嬉しいですね。
いやー、これもっとえらい騒ぎになりそうですよ。
Sister tilts her head in confusion, then one by one the people finish their meals and bow to her. After that, they begin to swear their loyalty to her.
お嬢様についていけば激辛とはいえただで飯が食えると思ってるんですよ。今日だっていい食材使ってますし、相当美味しく感じたんじゃないですか？
なるほど。それは少々困ってしまいますね。この人たちをずっと食べさせていけるほどの
Until the
財力
first
はありません
toilet.
しかといって同志を見捨てるのも。
I don't think they had plumbing in this time of the ages, so let's just say that the town is about to be very smelly. With her arms crossed, Sister closes her eyes. And after a short while, they fly wide open.
私にはみんなをここまで導いてきた責任があります。今さら都合が悪くなったからといってさよならというわけにはいきません。
What do you mean, Fubuki? It's not your responsibility. You gave it as a gift to them once. Doesn't mean you have to do it all the time now.
だから私は決めました。ここにいる皆を率いて新しい土地を目指すと。
We're gonna begin spice plantations. Everyone works for Fubuki. Feudalism, hell yeah!
そして激辛好きによる激辛好きのための国、フブキング王国を作ると。
Fubukinga, here we go. There we go. This is how a war begins. Fubuki declares independence from her kingdom and begins her own. A war starts out. A bloody war between spice lovers and everyone else.
正気ですか、お嬢様。新しい国を作るなんて。
ええ、旅の途中で未開の地を見つけました。
Oh,
そこ
okay.
を切り開けば土地は手に入ります。
Alright, I guess we're gonna go to
開
the
放
new
した土
world.
地で激辛食材を食べ、余った分を交易して収入を得ましょう。
To the new world we go! Woo! It's time to set sail! Shuko! Spicy emblem has started. Yup.
言うのは簡単ですけど、国を作るなんて大それたこと可能なんですか？
I'm sure they can do it. Look, how else do you think Brazil was formed? You know? It used to be a Portuguese colony, and then France invaded Portugal. So the royal family decided, you know what? We're gonna change our capital from we're gonna change our capital from Lisbon to Rio de Janeiro. So that's exactly what they did. And so Rio de Janeiro was literally the capital of Portugal for a while. And then the royal family returned. And one of the sons of the royal family decided to declare independence. And that's how Brazil was formed. But then, you know, the nobles that remained in Brazil didn't like the guy very much. And he was, he had to return to Portugal. Also because Portugal had fallen to his brother's leadership, and people in there didn't like his brother very much, so the Emperor of Brazil saw that, you know what, now's a good time to return to Portugal and become King of Portugal again. So he returned to Portugal. Brazil no longer had any more emperors or kings, and a civil war was fought in Portugal, and that guy was called Dom Pedro. He, by the way, it's a different Pedro than the other Pedro that I talked about yesterday. Different Pedros, different time periods. And this Dom Pedro fought his brother Dom Miguel in a civil war, and he won. And there we go. Actually, see, there's something interesting about that civil war. It was between the absolutists and the liberals. Dom Pedro was the liberal of the liberal faction, while which was very influenced by French Revolution liberal ideas. Meanwhile, Dom Miguel was more of a classical absolutist, you know. He has all the power and all that. So, Dom Miguel lost the war, right? And after that, I think in the Portuguese constitution, it says that no descendants of Dom Miguel can inherit the Portuguese throne because they are usurpers to their throne. Now, today, Portugal is a republic. We are no longer a monarchy, right? We haven't been a monarchy since like 1910. But there still is one surviving branch of the family, and that is actually Dom Miguel's branch of the family. And there are actually a monarchic political party. Actually, we have two different monarchic political parties. They are not popular at all. So usually they aren't considered at all. They have no representation in the government because they don't have enough followers. But there's two of them, two monarchist parties. One of them wants the descendant of Dom Miguel to become the new king of Portugal, right? While the other faction, they wanted a completely new king because, again, the constitution says that no sons of the usurpers can take up the throne. So yeah, that's just a fun fact. How many Pedros we had? I think, actually, I don't know exactly how many Pedros we had, but the thing about European monarchs is that a lot of them like to give their names to their sons and grandsons and all that. I think we had like what, 5 Afonsos? We had a bunch of Sanchos. We had a bunch of Joãos. A lot of them. I mean, you know, it's a lot whenever you have like something, you know, Afonso the Fifth, you know, João the Fifth, things like that. That's how you know we had a lot of them. So yeah, as for Pedros is not even the most common. But yeah, that's the more you know, some Portuguese history.
皆の力があれば、きっと激辛は人々の心をつなぎますから。テオは私の手伝いしてくれますか？
If that's what you wish, sister. I kneel down before her and bow my head in respect. Reminiscing about our adventures together with sister, I feel an even greater desire to stay by her side.
ありがとう、テオ。マリンとアクアさんもついてきてくれますか？
お嬢様は一度言い出したら頑固ですからね。最後までお供しますよ。私も一生懸命頑張ります。
では向かいましょう。私たちの理想郷へ。
To the new world! And so the plot of Monster Hunter World begins. And thus, we took the first step towards building the kingdom of Fubu King. We have maybe only Nikolai II, and he was slaughtered with the family revolution. Ah, I know that one. You mean Nikolai II, right? The one from the the Russian Revolution. I think it was the February Revolution, wasn't it? That's what were they called? The Romanov, right? The Romanov dynasty, I think. Fubuki went on to create a utopia of peace and harmony, and she became the founding leader, Fubuking, beloved by all. So where the monarchy died. Yep, we got an ending. Queen of Spice. And everyone lived happily ever after. The end. There we go. The whole happening of the fall of the Romanov dynasty is very interesting because it's very much tied in with World War I and many other things from that period of time. It's very interesting to learn about. Now we kind of return to monarchy though. In a way, yeah. World War I, yeah. Because so when World War I began, Russia was still a tsardom, right? They were still a monarchy. Nikolai II was not known to be a very strong king, and he was very eager to prove himself, which is part of the reason why he was so eager to fight in the war. Now, Russia had already suffered a defeat against Japan previously, and that was a big thing because number one, Japan, that was the first time an Asian power defeated a European power in a direct war. Right? Japan won that war, and that ended up kind of becoming proof that perhaps the leadership of Russia wasn't very strong back then, right? And as a result, dissent started. People were starving. Russia was still a serfdom. I think so. I'm not sure, but I think it was still a serfdom at the time. And then when Russia joined the war, it was a mess. It was an absolute mess. Russia had the most amount of troops out of every country, but they didn't have the equipment enough to equip their troops. So a lot of soldiers were being sent into the front lines without a gun. They had to they were just being told, hey, you don't have a gun? That's fine. Wait until your comrade dies, then you pick up his gun and fight. They didn't have enough guns for everyone. They didn't have enough boots for everyone. It was an absolute mess. So many casualties happened and eventually the Germans, who back then were also a monarchy, they were being led by Kaiser Wilhelm, which, by the way, Kaiser Wilhelm and Nikolai II, they were family. They were cousins. And they didn't want to fight each other, but they fought each other because they both had something to prove. Again, World War I is an absolute mess because it's literally a war just caused by the people above just, wanting to flex their power. Literally. I mean, yes, the people were also very eager to fight. World War I was the war that kind of changed the people's mentality about war. When I think there is a saying that says that when World War I began, people cheered. When World War II started, people cried. Because World War I was what finally made people understand just how terrible warfare is. Because modern warfare, that was the first time Europe had seen modern warfare, actually, right? I mean, the American Civil War had happened before that, right? But the Europeans didn't really take much attention to that. So World War I was finally the time where Europeans saw that, yeah, war sucks. And they changed their mentalities completely. But yeah, so in the middle of all that war, with the Germans starting to advance upon Russia, eventually the people in Russia had enough, and they revolted, and they took down the monarchy. That was the February Revolution, which happened in March. That was what took down the monarchy, and it was a bit tragic because the imperial family was completely killed, and there's this tragic story about Anastasia and all that. Rasputin is also mixed in a bit there. And then later on, that's when we have finally the October Revolution, which happened in November, I think. Or was it September Revolution? I don't remember when it was. And that's the one where the communists with Lenin, led by Lenin, took power. But I think Russia was still in the war before that. Because they didn't really quit the war, because I think the Germans were like, sure, we accept your surrender, but you need to give us all this, and the Russians didn't want that, because, they were going to lose a lot of territory and all that. And that wasn't ideal either. But eventually I think Russia was able Right, because I remember, because Lenin was actually exiled in Germany. Lenin had been exiled in Germany, and I think the Germans, they were the ones that sent Lenin into Russia, because the Germans believed that Lenin was their biggest weapon against Russia. So they sent Lenin back into Russia, and that worked, because with Lenin taking power, eventually Russia, dropped out of the war, and guess what? Now Germany doesn't have to worry about a two-front war anymore. They can focus everything on one front, which is the Western Front. And yeah, so it was all part of Germany's plan, actually. World War I is fascinating, by the way. I usually am more interested in learning more about World War I rather than World War II, because I feel like World War I is much more complex than the second one. The second one is a bit more simple. It's, oh, there was this racist guy that wanted to expand. The end. But World War II is like very complex because there's millions upon millions of reasons. I mean, okay, I oversimplified World War II as well, but it boils down to pretty much that. But World War I is far more complex, I feel, when it comes to the reasons why it started and the developments of it and all that. Though the second one tends to be more popular. Hey, Witch, can you give me your quick opinion on Hajime taking 3rd place on the last race? On the tournament, I'm very impressed with her. I think Hajime, I put Bijou as the most promising newcomer, and Bijou did amazing. I'm very happy with how she performed. She was everything I expected her to be. But man, Hajime took us by surprise. I'm gonna give her a title for sure. Now I just need to decide on what. But the future of the tournament looks bright. It looks very bright. We have so many strong competitors with every single year. Like, seriously, this was my favorite tournament so far. It was so good. I never expected a tournament without Aqua to become my favorite, but somehow this actually became my favorite. But, I know there's people saying that they wanted to see Suisei win, and that her losing this time, doesn't matter because next year she's probably gonna win and retire anyways. But what they don't realize is that, well, that just means we have one extra year with Suisei. And that gives us one last chance of potentially seeing her go against Aqua, which is what we want to see. And besides, don't count everyone else out. Everyone else is pretty strong too. We never know. Suisei has been defeated twice, not counting the first tournament, because that's before she became strong. But post her becoming champion, Suisei has been defeated twice, so it can happen a third time as well. Don't count the rest out. We have really good talent as well in the tournament. And Hajime is one of them. She did amazing. I'm very happy with it. Alright, so let's not go for the spice. We're leaving Hajime away before the tournament start. It was in October 25th. Alright, okay. I'm sorry. I guess I can't after all. I dropped my head in shame and put the devil's sauce back.
そうですか。残念です。
Also, by the way, just to finish the whole World War I thing, if you want to know why the World War I began. So, a Serbian dude called Gavrilo Princip shot the Austro-Hungarian Archduke called Franz Ferdinand, right? And that caused Austria to declare war on Serbia. Germany was allied with Austria, so they also declared war on Serbia. Serbia was allied with Russia, so Russia had to declare war on Germany as well, and Austro-Hungary. Now, France is allied with Russia, so France declares war on Germany. Germany decides to go through Belgium because the French had this giant defensive line between their border. So Germany decides to invade Belgium to try and catch the French off guard. But because they invaded Belgium, the British joined the war because the British, they were allied with Belgium and they wanted to protect Belgium. So because Great Britain joined the war, Japan also joined the war, and Portugal joined the war because they were allied with Great Britain. And then we had the Ottoman Empire, which the Ottoman Empire they joined I forgot the name of the alliances, unfortunately. They joined Germany and Austro-Hungary, and they declared jihad like in the middle of the war or something. It was a giant mess, by the way. Yeah. It's just alliances after alliances after alliances, all bringing themselves into the war. Nintendo will release Mario Kart 9 and change the meta before the tournament. Will be funny. That would be interesting. I mean, actually, you know what? Maybe that's a way that Marin would return to the tournament, because Marin didn't participate in the tournament because she felt intimidated with all the new stages. So suddenly, if they made a new Mario Kart game, I think actually that would even up the playing field a bit, but there wouldn't be as many stages for people to practice, which would mean Marin would probably feel less intimidated. We'll see if she'll return next year. I hope she does. She's great. Again, because of curiosity, stayed for the history. Sometimes we do tend to go on historical tangents. I love history so much.
でも、無理強いするのは良くないですよね。好みは人それぞれですから。
Something that I usually tend to say to anyone that might be new is that whenever I touch on political topics, I don't touch it because I have an agenda. I touch it because I love studying history. I love studying humanity, and I feel like it's very difficult to touch upon like topics such as history, humanity, and things like that without sometimes touching on political, because you know history and politics go hand in hand. But I like to look at it from an observational perspective, from an outsider's perspective, just because I think it's fascinating to learn about humans and their societies and all that.
さあ、食事を続けましょう。
I breathed a sigh of relief seeing Sister back down so easily. After that, we continue our meal in silence. As for the remaining soup, it seems like Miss Aqua took full responsibility and ate every last drop. It's been a week since the little soup incident. Miss Aqua still makes mistakes, but she's improving at her job. And today, she's in my room, putting her heart and soul into cleaning the bookshelves.
今日もお掃除頑張るぞ。どんな埃も見逃さない。
Let's see if she doesn't fall this time around.
高いところもなんのその。踏み台あれば余裕です。だって私はパーフェクトメイドアクアだもん。おや、こんなところに埃が。ふっふ。私の目はごまかせないよ。必殺はたき攻撃ちょりゃらららら。
She sweeps the dusters skillfully, clearing every crevice of the bookshelves from dust.
うわー、やめてくれー。
Looking respectfully.
攻撃しないでくれー。ふはは。誇りに生まれたことを後悔しなさい。
Once again, this is just a representation of how Aqua behaves whenever she plays Apex Legends. This is a representation of Aqua absolutely wiping out a full squad by herself.
ほらほら、ここがいいんでしょ。ここをこすられると落ちちゃうんでしょ。ラメ落ちちゃう。ほこり落ちちゃう。
Squad eliminated. The mad dog does it once again. Thanks to Miss Aqua's diligent effort, the dust from the bookshelves is steadily piling up on the floor. I'm surprised how much dust there is, even though you can clean it every day.
そうなんですよ。特にほこりは小さいですから隙間に入りやすくて。でもだからこそやりがいを感じるんです。掃除って結果がわかりやすいですし、床に落ちたほこりを集めてると今日はこんなに頑張ったぞって自分を褒めたくなります。
That's a master rank maid right there.
まあお仕事だから頑張るのは当たり前なんですけど。
Miss Aqua casually chatters away while dusting. Their collab with Final Fantasy VII is a damn scam. Oh, I haven't seen anything about Apex since then. Yeah, actually, what's up with that collab? I've barely seen a thing about it. You're very hard-working, Miss Aqua. I'd say you're already a first-class maid.
そうですか？嬉しいです。よーし、気合い入りました。今日は砂粒一つ見逃しませんよ。おりゃらららら。
shouting battle cries. She shuffles left and right. Ah yes, that's just her strafing from side to side in Apex, cleaning every nook and cranny of the shelves. And as I watch her little theatrics, my eyes catch a conspicuous step stool. It's the cat that she drew a long time ago. I didn't notice until now, but Misako has gotten her very own personalized step stool. It has 2 circles and a bright red semicircle painted on it. Oh, I see, you've got yourself a new step stool.
マリンが街で買ってきてくれたものに私が猫の絵を描いたんです。結構うまく描けたと思いません？
This is supposed to be a cat?
もちろんですよ。じゃなかったら何に見えるんですか？
They make Buster Sword as heirloom for everyone and make custom death box. A lot of skins, but it's so expensive and gacha based. It's just disrespectful. In a way, it's similar to like to the Riot like premium skins that cost like $200. I can see how people would be mad at that. Usually, I don't usually give it much of a thought though, because when it comes to cosmetics, I don't really think it's that important. But I can see how people would be angry though. Well, now that you mention it, maybe it kind of does. It's a cat?
ですよね。猫といえばこれみたいな猫加減ですよね。
So, does it have a name?
猫は猫ですよ。NEKO で猫。
Ah yes, we were using the Pokemon logic. This is my cat. What's his name? It's Cat. That's how Pokemon works. Cat, cat, cat. Misako has an eccentric, weird side to her that I can't quite put into words. Though I'm getting used to it as I spend more time with her, and I'm actually starting to find her oddball quirks very kind of cute.
よし、高いところの掃除終わりです。次はテーブルを掃除しますね。
She squeezes out a rag and starts wiping the table down. Isn't Neko Aqua's mascot? Yes, it is. She drew it herself a long time ago. And it kinda became her mascot. And while watching her clean enthusiastically, I keep the conversation going. You've been here about a week, so have you gotten used to the lifestyle?
はい、ちゃんと夜も眠れてますし、あまり緊張もしなくなりました。
That's good to hear. You looked so frightened and lost when I first met you. That's the same thing Marin said.
人見知りなんですよ。今だってご主人様と話すことを決めてからじゃないと雑談できませんし。
さすが。What do you mean? I've never felt that way, so I can't say I understand how you feel.
朝起きた時に今日はご主人様と何を喋ろうかなって決めておくんです。天気の話とかご飯の話とか庭に来た猫の話とかいろいろな話題を思い浮かべて
Damn intruders.
そうやって話すことを決めてからご主人様を起こしに行くんです。
You don't need to think so hard about it. You can just be yourself and talk to me normally.
これが私の普通なんですよ。
Yep, that is true. That is normal for her.
ご主人様は人と喋るとき変なこと言ったらどうしようとか無言になったらどうしようって考えないんですか？
I shake my head.
いいなあ、羨ましいです。
I don't really get it, but I can somewhat see that she is really troubled by this. I feel I should say something, but I'm not sure what to say. Though I don't want to pretend like I know how she truly feels.
よし、テーブル拭き終わりです。今日は天気がいいですからお布団も干しちゃいましょうか。
Good idea. I'll help.
ダメですって。ご主人様を手伝わせているなんてバレたらマリンに怒られちゃいます。ご主人様は座っててください。一人でできますから。
Miss Aqua gleams full of confidence, taking on the arduous task of taking out the bedding.
まずはシーツを剥がして、これは洗うから布団の上に乗せて、布団を持ち上げ、持ち上げ、
The bedding used by the nobility is filled to the brim with down with down and quite thick. Wait, with down right, wait. What did I just read? To the brim with down and quite thick. Okay. They're extremely heavy, so Miss Aqua will probably experience a harrowing trial trying to carry them all by herself.
ダメ、全然持ち上がらない。
I really think I should lend a hand.
大丈夫です。メイドとしてちゃんとお仕事をやり遂げます。行くぞー、メイドパワー。
With a determined heave, she managed to lift up the bedding. However, her delicate frame wobbles side to side, and it looks like she might tumble over at any moment.
布団が分厚くて前が見えません。確か廊下はこっちだったはず。
Miss Aqua wobbles forward, her legs shaking, barely holding the bedding in her arms. Is she really going to be alright? Miss Aqua somehow manages to make it across the hallway and down the stairs to the first floor. She did stop to rest several times, but she never once dropped the bedding. I suppose she's trying her best not to stain my bedding.
あともうちょっと。でも、もうダメ。
I have to say, Aqua, Marin and Fubuki did such a good job at voicing in this. Like such a good job. Miss Aqua's body sways and starts to slowly tip forward. But just as I'm about to run to catch her, someone else jumps in to rescue her.
セーフ。もうアクタン気をつけなよ。
Almost as if Miss Marin is gracefully embracing Miss Aqua, she effortlessly supports both Miss Aqua and the bedding from falling. She grins widely as our eyes meet, and I get the impression she's saying, "I'll take it from here."
マリン？もう力仕事の時は呼びなさいって言ったでしょ。アクタン力がないんだから。
This game won the Voice Actors Award in 2022? Wait, really? What the hell? I didn't know that. That's insane. Deserved. They did a great job. Like, it's really, really good. The voice acting is so good. Like, if I didn't know any better, I would just guess that these would be just regular professional voice actors rather than Vtubers. Because they really, like, sound super professional. Like, the quality of the voice acting is really high.
でもマリンだって忙しいし。そんなの気にしなくていいって。無茶して怪我でもしたらどうするの？ほら、半分持ってあげるから一緒に行くわよ。はーい。
The two hold up the bedding on each side and carry it out to the clothes line outside. I'm sure Miss Marin would take care of the rest. When I look out the window to the garden, I see a bunch of laundry ready to be washed and hung up to dry. In the midst of it all, Miss Aqua is bustling back and forth non-stop. She draws water from the well, then washes and hangs up the laundry to dry. After she's finished with that, she starts sweeping the garden. It's still early summer, but the sun's so blazing hot that I'm sweating even though I'm inside. Miss Aqua, working outside, must be drenched in sweat. I'll bring her something to drink. I'm sure she'll like that. After getting some drinks from Miss Marin, I bring Miss Aqua inside to the dining room. Whew, sure is hot outside. Aren't you thirsty?
乾いてますけど。
Oh, that's perfect. Here's some water. There's a little orange mixed in as well.
ありがとうございます。
Miss Aqua timidly thanks me and accepts the cup. Watching as her lips touch the glass, I drink some as well.
あー、おいしい。
I'm glad. Sorry, it's just something simple.
いえ、そんな、むしろごめんなさい。私、そんな大変に見えましたか？
I guess, but there's no need to apologize. I did this because I wanted to.
じゃあ、ありがとうございます。
It's nothing. You're welcome. The conversation strangely comes to an abrupt end, and the air feels awkward between us for some reason. That's just the average Aqua conversation, don't worry. Even Suisse has a tough time keeping it alive. For a while, we just sit there, dead silent, not saying a single word. Then out of the blue, she breaks the silence.
どうしてこんなに気にかけてくれるんですか？私は単なるメイドで褒められるようなことはしてないのに。
Because you're quite the character, Aqua. Please don't say such things. You have many wonderful qualities, Miss Aqua.
でもドジだし体力ないし陰キャだし。
I enjoy talking to you. And you're an amazing hard worker. I know that you've been diligently writing everything Miss Marin teaches you in your notebook.
あれはそのよく失敗するからこれ以上迷惑かけちゃいけないなって思って。恥ずかしいです。
Hasukashi. Trying to hide her embarrassment, she turns her head down and she nervously fidgets by pressing the tips of her index finger together.
どうしてそんなに私に優しくしてくれるんですか？
Is being kind a bad thing? Shouldn't that be the default? That's because one answer immediately leaps to mind, but I can't dare say it. Because if I told her now how I truly feel, like I love you, then everything might fall apart. Guess you could say I'm just interested, that's all.
そうですか。
After I say that, she seems even more flustered and lost in thought. My thoughtless lie causes a twinge of pain in my heart. I don't know what to do or say anymore, so I abruptly stand up. Right, I'll be going back to my room. Could you please return to the cups to the kitchen for me?
あ、はい、ありがとうございました。
I hand the cup to Miss Aqua and head towards the common room door. Then, making sure I was far enough away that she wouldn't hear me, I let out a deep sigh. There's no way I can tell her the real reason that I'm nice to Miss Aqua. I can't tell her it's because I fell in love with you.
アクアリウム。な
Let
ん
me
と
just
な
say
く
it.
気になるから
Yes.
か。本当に大丈夫？
はい、大丈夫です。While washing the cups in the kitchen, Ako repeats Theo's words out loud.
なんとなくってどういう意味なんだろう。私のことを好きになっちゃったとか。ってないない。テオは貴族で私はメイドなんだし。あの真面目なテオがメイドに告白するなんて想像できないよ。
More likely than you believe. However, no matter how much she tries to deny the possibility, it doesn't stop her heart from pounding relentlessly.
もしだよ。万が一テオがメイドの私を好きになったとしても、夢の中の女の子が私だって気づいたら絶対に嫌われる。大嫌いって言ってテオを傷つけたこと絶対許してくれないよ。はあ、なんで私あんなこと言っちゃったんだろう。
I mean, come on, Ako, do you think Theo is the kind of person to be like spiteful and hateful? He's way too kind, like Fubuki said. I suppose overthinking is part of her traits. Aqua stops washing the dishes and wipes the tears welling up in the corner of her eyes.
泣いちゃダメ。あの時のことは全部私が悪いんだから。それにテオが記憶を失ったのだって私のせいだし。だから私に幸せになる資格なんてどこにもないんだ。
Don't say things like that. Unable to hold down her overflowing emotions, she finally breaks. and the tears she held back come rushing out all at once. However, she is all done, with no one. No, she is all alone, with no one to comfort her. It's been about 2 weeks since. Miss Aqua is working hard as usual as she continues her life in the mansion. I've also gotten so used to her being around that I can hardly imagine my life without her anymore. But that's exactly the problem. I mutter to myself as I lean against the window and look outside, and recall what happened this morning.
おはようございます、ご主人様。今日はよく眠れましたか？寝癖すごいですよ。直してあげますね。今日の朝ごはんも一生懸命作りました。食べていただけますか？してほしいことがあれば何でも言ってくださいね、ご主人様。
My heart flutters with Miss Aqua's every word and gesture. But being with a maid, that'll spell all sorts of trouble.
そうですね。あまり良くはないですね。
And she overheard you. Ugh! I jump out the sudden voice coming from behind me. When I turn around, I see sister smiling mischievously.
いい反応ですね。
Don't scare me like that. Please at least knock or something.
ちゃんとしましたよ。返事はなかったですけど。
Sister gazes out at the window nonchalantly. She sees Miss Aqua sweeping the garden.
アクアさん、真面目ですよね。慣れない環境だというのに、毎日頑張ってると思います。それに可愛いですし。だから、テオが惹かれてしまうのも無理はないと思います。ですが、それが何を意味するかは、分かっている。
A serious tone tinges sister's voice. Confronted with the truth I've been trying to ignore, my mouth becomes heavy. Yes, I understand. Because of the different social strata, a noble and a maid cannot be together.
ご名答です。テオはフランスワ家の大事な跡取り。当然、嫁いでくる人の血統も大事です。貴族は貴族と結婚し、家の価値を高める。それが、貴族として生まれたものの定めです。
There you go. That is exactly what I said last stream. I can only listen to sister's words in silence. My preordained fate has been etched into me ever since childhood. I understand it all too well, which only adds to the frustration boiling within me.
諦めなさい、テオ。アクアさんのためにも。私はアクアさんのいいところをいっぱい知っています。ですが、市政の人々にとって、彼女は単なるメイドです。貴族をたぶらかした性悪女という悪名を、彼女に着せる気ですか？
Sister speaks harshly, but nothing she says is wrong. Even if I were to be with Miss Aqua, no one would approve of it. My heart sinks as I feel the weight of the reality that I didn't want to accept as true. Well, you know, there is one solution about that. A solution that might be quite brutal, and that is to take charge and kill anyone that disapproves. Works with some nobles.
よくよく考えてください。何が自分とアクアさんにとって一番の幸せか。決して軽はずみな答えは出さないように、しっかり悩みなさい。
Saying no more, sister leaves the room.
アクアリウム。
Fubuki POV! After leaving Theo's room, Fubuki heads towards the common room. She sits down and looks around the room.
誰もいませんよね。いませんよね。はあ、疲れた。
Fubuki relaxes her body and leans forward onto the desk.
勘弁してくださいよ。私だってあんなこと言いたくありませんよ。でも誰かが言わないといけませんし。は
あ、お嬢様も大変ですね。
あ、驚かさないでよマリー。
おっと、これは失礼しました。
テオとの話聞いてたの？
はい、お嬢様が思い詰めた顔をしていたので、ずっとそばで控えていました。
本音は？
野獣馬根性です。
Of course.
よろしい。アクアさんと手を合わせたのはテオの記憶を取り戻すためでした。でも同時にいつかお互いが惹かれ合ってしまうのも分かっていたわ。幼い頃の記憶が戻らなくてもね。
ってことは、ご主人様がアクタンに惚れちゃうのも想定内ってことです？
ええ、幼い頃の記憶がなくても人の好みはそう変わらないでしょうし。
なのに2人の恋愛を止めちゃうんですか？応援してあげればいいのに。
私個人としては応援したいですよ。弟の幸せは私の幸せですし。でも貴族の姉としては通すべき筋は通さないといけません。私が良くてもお父様や領民が何というか、おそらくいい反応はされないでしょう。辛い道を歩もうとしているのに手放しで応援してはそれこそ無責任です。
But alas, being born as a noble means that if you want to change the rules, you need to be strong enough to change the rules. You know, you need to have the power to change the rules. Otherwise, the rules will come to bite you in the ass. And say Theo ends up with Aqua. If he does not have the power to protect Aqua, she's just going to become a target. She's going to be assassinated, you know, by people that do not approve of this. By people that might want to kill her to get close to Theo so they can get power by union with him. Or his own family could do it, you know, so that Theo doesn't waste his opportunity to get power from some other family, right? And many other things. So the only way Aqua and Theo can be happy is by changing the conventions. But the only way to change the conventions is only if you have the power to do so. You need to be not physically powerful, but influential enough to change things up to the point where no one wants to go against you, you know. That's why a lot of royals, whenever they wanted to love someone they wanted, they would be super brutal in making examples out of people so that no one would say a word. Otherwise, well, if you disapprove, you're gonna get yourself killed, tortured, maybe worse, right? So yeah, let's see I wonder what this story is gonna do. I highly doubt that this story is gonna go, you know, the whole bloody tyrant route. So I'm curious to see what's gonna be. Maybe Aqua and Theo run away, far, far away, and Fubuki becomes the actual leader. I mean, she said that a woman cannot inherit, but, you know, Fubuki is highly respected. Like Pedro the Scorpion with his fatalities, yeah, exactly. Feeling lost and troubled, Fubuki woefully sighed. Her pride as a noble and her heart as an older sister continued to clash, causing more wrinkles to appear on her face.
真面目ですね。これからはどうするおつもりで？
言うべきことは言いました。あとは二人次第でしょう。私に言われて諦めるようであればそれでよし。諦めきれないなら精一杯あがいてもらう。二人の人生です。私はただ見守るだけですよ。
見守るって大変ですよね。手を出した方が簡単な時も多いですし。
ええ、本当に。でもそれはマリンも一緒でしょ。アクアさんのことずっと気にしているようですし。
アクタンのことは大好きですからね。つい目で追っちゃうんですよ。
Yep, and that is not just in the story. This sentence came from the heart, came straight from Marin's heart. She doesn't even need to act here.
でもアクタンのことなら心配いりませんよ。陰キャの豆腐メンタルに見えて芯はしっかりしてますから。
信頼しているのですね、アクアさんのこと。
はい、 私アクタンなら埋めると思ってますから。割とマジで。
Yep, these two came from Marin's heart. She doesn't need to act this sentence. That's her every day. How many times have you heard that she wants to give birth to Aqua by now? Many, many times. For several days after Sister's warning, I've been lost in thought, struggling to come to terms with my conflicted emotions. Common sense tells me that giving up on my feelings for Miss Aqua is the right thing to do. But even so, I just can't get rid of this burning feeling in me. It still warms my heart when Aqua said, "I'm just happy I'm invited." Yeah, that was adorable. What should I do?
ご主人様、何か悩み事ですか？
I just have a lot on my mind, that's all. How about you, Miss Aqua? You have any worries?
私は、いつもよくしてもらえてますし、特には美味しいご飯と温かいお布団で寝られるだけでも幸せですし。
Generally, when you take care of your workers, and you truly take care of them properly, to the point where, you know, they have no complaints, that usually makes said workers to be loyal to you. On the flip side, companies that tend to be abusive towards their workers and treat them terribly, you know, usually those workers aren't gonna stick around for long. They're probably gonna find a new job that pays them better, and as soon as they do, they're gonna get away. Which is something that I feel like a lot of bosses don't seem to realize. That, hey, treating your workers well might make them, you know, be more committed to you and your cause. As long as you pay them well, treat them well, give them good conditions, and give them time for themselves, they'll do a good job. Probably might even go above and beyond. So yeah. But isn't that a given?
全然普通じゃないですよ。実家にいた頃はお肉なんてめったに食べられませんでしたし、寝るところも隙間風で寒いし。
Most of the bosses think about people like resources, yeah.
それに比べれば今は天国みたいな生活ですよ。
And then we have surprise Pikachu moments where some bosses are like, wait, why nobody wants to work? Goddamn people of today are too lazy, just don't want to work. Or maybe they would like to work if you actually give them proper conditions to work. You know? There's a lot of people out there that want a job, but you know, they don't want, you know, they want to be treated like people, not tools. That's all. Miss Aqua smiles as she says this, but inside, this revelation leaves me completely shell-shocked at a loss for words. I mean, hell, let me just give Hololive as an example, Cover Corp as an example. Every single thing we hear about Cover Corp is positive, everything. You know, staff members saying good things about Cover Corp, you know, talents saying good things about Cover Corp. It seems like everyone is very happy and satisfied with Cover Corp. And, you know, it's not difficult to see why. Like, if, you know, from the things that are told to us, the talents and some staff members that have told us, you know, we can definitely say that Iago and whoever is at the top, they truly care for creating a good environment for their workers. So it's no wonder that they have such enthusiastic workers that want to do their best for their talents and the company. Because it seems like if you work for Cover Corp, it seems like you're gonna be treated well, that's for sure. Right? I feel like Cover Corp is a good example of that. Only Rushi is trashing Cover. I mean, unfortunately, you know, it's a complicated situation, but I feel like Rushi here is still, you know, kind of at fault though. It's true that breaking NDA was unfortunate. I'm pretty sure she did it out of desperation. But Cover had to do it. They had to terminate her. I'm pretty sure they didn't want to terminate her, but they had to. Because if they didn't terminate Russia after breaking NDA, that would set a bad precedent. And other people in the future could potentially use that against Cover in court to excuse bad actions that they could take against Cover. As well as many other things. But as for the other things that Russia said about Cover, and Cover said about Russia, I just don't know. All I know is the termination and the NDA being broken. Other than that, the details, it's only between Russia and Cover, so I don't know. But keeping in mind, but it's difficult. It's very difficult to take Russia at her word when even after her termination, she keeps getting herself into into messes. Like the one that she did with Deltaya and the ones that she did after that. She keeps getting herself into all these problems, right? So it's very difficult to take her at her word. Like, for example, the situation with Deltaya, fortunately it died down. Because it would be really unfortunate if either of them had suffered. Because at the end of the day, I still like Russia, right? She's still like a talented individual, that gave me great joy while she was in Hololive, right? So I don't want anything bad to fall upon her. But I feel like it's difficult to sympathize with Russia during the whole drama that happened after the termination. It's very difficult. I really feel like there are some people that will really benefit from a therapist. I feel like Russia would probably be one of them. And I don't say this in a derogatory way. I say this from a genuine, this would 100% benefit her, I feel. Think about Vox Akuma was very open about having a therapist, and he said it worked wonders for him. And I really believe that Russia would also benefit a lot from a therapist. But yeah. By the way, did you hear recent Marin Twitter drama? No, I haven't. This is new. Tell me, what happened? I'm curious. Marin drama, that's not something you usually hear. Hopefully it's something small and petty that you can just ignore. I mean, usually whole life drama tends to be small and petty that doesn't really matter. And as long as the members ignore it, usually it goes away. So here's hoping it's something like that. Misako smiles as she says this, but inside this revelation leaves me completely shell-shocked and at a loss for words. Compared to the mansion as a whole, the maid's rooms are like shacks. There's no carpet and hardly any furniture. Despite that, it's like paradise to her. Once again, I'm reminded how truly fortunate I am. Because, she's a commoner and she probably has even less than that in her actual home.
普段は節約している家だったんですけど、唯一プレゼントをもらえる日があって、それが私の誕生日だったんです。パパもママも私のために新しい遊び道具とか服を作ってくれて。
This is giving me, is reminding me of Ascendance of a Bookworm. It's my favorite isekai of all. Where the main character is born in a very poor family as well. And they have to handcraft everything, pretty much. Marin did a collab with someone who looks like a lolly, and some idiot commented something like this girl with a pedo, which is rude and not true, and people was furious about that. Why? Okay, so what you're telling me is that it's just a regular Tuesday, right? It's just a regular Tuesday. On Twitter, I've seen so many Twitter accusations about lolly and things like that. I feel like nothing is gonna come out of it. Even Cover Corp have to step up and almost sue the commentator. Hey. Support Cover Corp for that 100%. Bitches talk shit, bitches get shit. I mean, I feel like Cover has been stepping up their protection of their talents as of late. Ever since the stuff happened with Laplas, where Laplas was harassed a lot, Cover really has been stepping up the protection of their talents because, let's be honest, Cover doesn't want a repeat of what happened to Coco or even Russia, because let's be honest, Russia only got to that point because of the harassment that she received, right? The harassment that she received from people, right? Same thing with Coco. The whole situation happened because of that. And, I think Cover is done waiting for things to calm down. I think Cover now wants to be more proactive about protecting their talents, which I support 100%. 100%. I mean, even in the Russia situation, Cover was initially backing up Russia. They had Russia's back, but, you know, then Russia committed the mistake of, like, breaking NDA. And at that point, they can't protect it anymore. But before she broke NDA, they were protecting it. They literally said, hey, whatever relationships our talents have in their private lives has nothing to do with us. So we'll support them no matter what. Unfortunately, there are still people today that they believe that Russia's termination was a Cover going back on their word there, which is just not true at all. I feel like there are some people in the community that are very skeptical towards corpos, and they look at every single action of a corpo in a bad way. Don't get me wrong, I think we should always be a bit skeptical of corpos, because at the end of the day, they're corporations, and corporations exist to make money, right? But with that said, that doesn't mean everything a corporation does is necessarily malicious, you know? And I feel like Cover has done enough to earn people's trust. Like, Cover years ago had a lot of problems as well, and they got themselves in a lot of trouble, but I feel like the Cover of today has done a very good job. I mean, don't get me wrong, that doesn't mean that they cannot do mistakes, you know? That doesn't mean they're perfect. Who knows, they might commit a mistake soon or something like that, right? It happens, right? It happens. At the end of the day, corporations are made of people, and people make mistakes. And when that time comes, we'll criticize Cover just like we do any color when any color, you know, does mistakes. But I think so far, at least in recent times, Cover, I think they've earned the people's trust. I think they really have. Especially Yago has earned the people's trust. Like, he's really beloved. But as for this thing with Marin and the whole lolly thing, I mean, you know, every time I see a Twitter drama that has to do with a lolly issue, it's immediately one of those dramas that I'm like, all right, it's not important. It's not a big deal then. Because I swear, if I could get a cent every time Twitter got mad because of lollies, I would be a rich man by now. It's a normal thing. It's like I said. The VTuber community, even though they all like VTubers, there is a clear cultural divide in the VTuber community. We have the Western sphere of the VTuber community, and we have the Japanese sphere of the VTuber community. We have more, but the others kind of lean towards one. For example, the Southeast Asian part of the VTuber community leans far more closely to the Japanese side. Right? On average, that doesn't mean any VTuber from one side or the other might necessarily be that. For example, I still think that Hololive EN, while they are EN, they lean far more to the Japanese sphere than they do to the Western sphere. And I feel like this divide between East and West in the community dictates a lot of their practices, and also the things that they find acceptable and not acceptable. Obviously, the Japanese side of the community is very much influenced by Japanese culture, Japanese, standards, Japanese, media, Japanese everything, basically, right? While the Western side of community is very much influenced by Western sensibilities. Twitch culture, for example, is big on the Western side of the community and all that, right? And I feel like because both sides sometimes clash, because they think they are the same part of the community when they aren't. Obviously, the whole topic of lolly is controversial depending on who you go to. But I feel like the people having these discussions, they don't realize just how different they are in thought. Because they are different in thought. Because they are influenced by different cultural norms and different mindsets. Hell, even the laws of lolly change from country to country. So we can't even say that it's 100% legal or illegal in everywhere in the world, because it depends. It depends where you live, right? Hell, even if you live in America, America itself does not have a unified law on that. It depends on your state that you live. Some states, like Texas, are against it. Some states, usually northern states, are fine with it and legalize it, right? It really depends on where you live, right? And this matters because the definitions are very much depending on the law, right? For example, in places where lolly is banned, the definition of lolly falls directly under, you know, CP, right? But in places where lolly is legal, lolicon is not considered CP because the definition that they use for those laws, they don't consider that part of it because they consider that photorealistic stuff is the only thing that falls under fictional CP, right? And these definitions are different depending on who you ask. But when people come to have these arguments with each other on the internet, they assume they have the same definition when they don't. And as a result, they end up talking about completely different things. And they're not, and you know, ends up being a completely shitstorm. It's a mess. And I feel like the first step towards people reaching a consensus is first realizing that it's different cultures. And this matters because different cultures have different laws and definitions on the problem. And they have reasonings as to why they have those definitions and thoughts, right? But yeah, that's why every time I tend to see like another controversy of lolly on the internet, it's like, alright, it's not important. It's just a huge mess. No one is going to discuss it properly. It's just going to be, you know, one side, you know, accusing the other of crimes while the other side, you know, makes fun of the other side. It's just a mess. It may as well just be separate and realize that they're different and not interact. Because all interactions that I see are just terrible interactions. And, but the worst part here is when one side of the community oversteps their bounds to invade the other side. Which is what this feels like. The Hololive side of the community is very much in the Eastern sphere, the Japanese side of Vtubing, right? So someone that's in the Western sphere coming into the Japanese side shouldn't be surprised that, oh, you're gonna see people that, you know, are into lolly and things like that. Oh no shit, you're in the Japanese sphere of the community. You're outside your zone. You know, if you don't like it, just go back to the Western side of the sphere. You know, that's where overall people there tend to be against it. Like, you're not gonna change the community. The community doesn't change. The community just splits into different sections. That's all that happens. But yeah, that's my tangent. I've been thinking a lot about this as of late. I remember there was a time I used to say that I didn't really have an opinion on the matter, and I'd rather avoid it, because no matter which side you take, you always lose. You always lose, no matter which side you take. But as of late, I've been giving it more thought, because I keep seeing this matter pop up more and more and more, right? So I've been giving it some thought, and this is kind of the conclusion that I'm at. It's just that different places deal with this matter differently, and assuming that everyone does it equally and that the law is the same everywhere is already a mistake, because it's not. That's why no one knows about Nishi-sanji JP, because most of them are weird for foreigners. Exactly, no, it's true. Like, Nishi-sanji JP is very much a world that the western part of the community, of the VTuber community, hasn't cracked into yet, right? They haven't cracked into it yet. Oh, it's just up to you, even though I don't know who you are. Oh, thank you. Thank you for the sub. Thank you. But yeah, the Nishi-sanji JP part of the community is very much unknown by the West, and they are as Japanese as you can think of. I mean, they are rich with the JP branch. It's a completely different world, right? There's like a lot of lolicons and shotacons there. Like, don't even let Twitter know who Kenmochi Toya is. Like, Kenmochi Toya is like a mega lolly. It's the reason why Lolly Shigure Wii exists, right? Shigure Wii does not like lolly, but she lost a bet against Kenmochi Toya, and she had to draw herself as a lolly. And literally, here's the reason. Like, if Twitter ever finds out about Kenmochi Toya, you know they're not gonna be happy, right? But Kenmochi Toya is basically the equivalent of Matsuri in Hololive, right? But like, he talks about that a lot, and yet people from the Japanese sphere, they can call him a weirdo, but nobody calls him a criminal, right? Because Japanese law is very simple when it comes to this. A. Lolicon does not fall under the definition of CP. Therefore, it is legal as far as a Japanese point of view goes, right? I've seen a documentary made by Vice talking about like lolicon manga and things like that, and they gave like a lolicon manga onto a politician, and they asked him, "See, what do you see here?" And the politician said, "I don't see anything wrong here." Because, again, Vice doesn't understand that the Japanese perspective is not the same perspective as Vice perspective. They don't see anything wrong with it because legally, the definition, the legal definition, which influences the mentality of the Japanese audience, does not see that as a problem because it's not to them, right? And I feel like a lot of people in the West don't get this. Like in the West, they go and say, "Oh, no, that's CP, that you are a criminal," and they are no, they aren't. They aren't because their law says it's not. And you might say, "Well, just because it's the law, it doesn't mean it's moral." Morals, a lot of time, the law is a lot of time dictated by morals. Not always, but a lot of the times the law is dictated by morals, by what the people of that place find acceptable or not. Right? And discussing morality to me is a bit of a mistake anyways, because morality is subjective. Morality will vary from depending on the person you're talking about. Depends on the environment of the person, the upbringing of the person, the place they were born, the place they were raised, the culture they were raised. All those things dictate morality. And expecting everyone to have the same morals is just a mistake. So ultimately, the only thing we can actually objectively look at is law. Is law and what's the reasoning behind the law, right? That's the only thing we can't really discuss. I mean, no, it's the opposite. That's the only thing we can actually discuss. But yeah, that's the tangent. But I also feel like a lot of people are too uncomfortable to talk about this topic. And because they are too uncomfortable, they don't give it too much thought. Because usually when you tend to be super supportive of lolicon, you are going to be heavily criticized on the internet by one side of the community, not the other side. Again, like I said, this really changes depending on where you are in the community, whether it's the Western sphere or the Japanese sphere. It's a big change. They're not the same. Like, the differences between the Japanese and the Western side of the community can be as small as, like, the Japanese side of the community will use Japanese names to describe things, while the Western side will use Western names, usually more Twitch-centered. I feel like Twitch is like the platform that most heavily influences the Western side of the VTuber community. While the JP side is more YouTube-focused, right? Or Nico Nico focus as well. Nico Nico / YouTube. For example, a Japanese influenced VTuber is probably gonna be more likely to do things Bilibili too, to a certain extent. Yeah. A Japanese VTuber that's influenced by the Japanese side of the community, they're more likely to play into a kayfabe. They're more likely to call their stream Zatsudan, while a Westerner might probably call it just chatting, right? A Japanese influenced VTuber might be more inclined to do a proper debut stream, a classical debut stream, while a Western side, a more Western side one, might not give it as important, or you know, they might do something different instead, right? There's like these small things that you can truly tell which side of the community they are influenced by, you know? It's some things that I've realized. And again, when it comes to things that are acceptable and not acceptable, it's another one. You know, it's very interesting to look. For example, the Japanese side of the industry tends to be more afraid of copyright, right? I feel. While the Western side isn't as afraid. That's because of Japanese law on copyright and, you know, and things like that. It's very interesting to see the differences between the community. Obviously, it exists in a spectrum. You know, if you think about a VTuber, where do they lie? One side or the other? It's a spectrum. It's not necessarily a 100% one side or the other side. It's a spectrum, right? For example, I would say Kason is straight in the middle. She's right in the middle. She does a lot of things that are very Western influenced and a lot of things that are very Japanese influenced. She's right in the middle of the spectrum. For example, I would consider someone like Nextaku on the 100% Western sphere. Nextaku is 100% on the Western sphere, right? But then, who is someone who's on the Eastern sphere? Pretty much like the majority of Hololive members are like on the Eastern sphere, 100%, right? On the Japanese sphere. Things like that. You can notice like the differences between them. Because like if you compare Nextaku to a VTuber from Hololive, they're very different. Like they're both VTubers, but they behave completely different. And that, I feel, is the cultural influence of the Japanese sphere and the Western sphere. It's very interesting. And you can even tell that new people that join the community today, how they will behave as VTubers often depends on how they got into it. Did they got into it because they were big fans of VTubers already and the community? Or did they get into it because, they just thought VTubing was cool and it's a nice way of, doing content creation now? Because usually the ones that are super fans of VTubers, they're more likely to be more traditional in that sense as well. While the ones that get into VTubing because they just think it's cool, they might be more regular content creators. The culture aspect of the VTuber community, at least the original traditional one, isn't as prevalent in the people that just think it's cool, but aren't necessarily fans of VTubers themselves. Let me give you one example of this. What's a good example? Okay, here's a good example. Takanashi Kiara. She's an EN VTuber, but she's a VTuber that is very much in the Japanese sphere. Very much so. Even though she's European, she's an EN VTuber who speaks English and all that, she is 100% in the Japanese sphere. She got into VTubing because she was actually a fan of VTubers. Pekora is her oshi. She was a big fan of Fubuki as well before Pekora. She loves the whole thing. She was already very much into Japanese culture. She's been doing content creation for over 10 years before Hololive. She was on Nico Nico, in fact. She learned Japanese because of that as well. Right? So she has that Japanese essence in a VTuber, right? Even though she's not Japanese, she has that Japanese essence. But a good example of someone that got into VTubing, not necessarily because they were, into like a VTuber, into VTubers like that. Futakuchimana is a good example. Futakuchimana is a V-singer. And they're not very much into VTubing because they like VTubers that much. It's because it's an avenue of content creation, right? And as a result, Futakuchimana follows more into the Western side of VTubing as well. Again, it is a spectrum, it's not the same for everyone. It really depends. For example, Shy Lily follows more on the Western side of VTubing. It's very much Twitch driven, right? Twitch culture is basically the dominant force of influence for Shy Lily, right? And that's what puts her mostly in the Western sphere, because Twitch is a very Western-centric, Western-influenced platform, right? Does this make sense? And obviously, I don't think there is a superior or inferior. It's just different. And I think people need to accept that both sides, they aren't inferior or superior to each other. They're just different. And there's a side for everyone. Everyone can decide on where to stand, right? And honestly, I think the community would be more peaceful if they just left each other alone to each other's devices instead of, letting these culture clashes, affect their enjoyment of it. Like, I remember a long time ago, going back to the lolly conversation, there was this person on YouTube that made a list of quote-unquote problematic VTubers, right? From both Nishisanji and Hololive. And they were using that list so that everyone could see the VTubers that they should not, watch because they are quote-unquote problematic. I swear, obviously, I don't think most people took that seriously, and they shouldn't, because, who cares about that? It's like, what does problematic even mean at this point? They had, people in that list for the most weird reasons ever. Like, oh, this person said that they like incest hentai. They are problematic. Don't watch them. Like, bruh, come on. Who are you to judge people for what they enjoy in their private time? They're not doing anything wrong. It's not criminal. And I can say it's not criminal because, again, the law changes depending on the country. And even countries where things like incest is illegal, they don't necessarily outlaw fiction, you know, because it's fiction. Nobody cares. There's no victim. There's no victim, so who's gonna complain? I think I remember there was an article I saw once. No, it wasn't an article. I think it was actually a tweet by an organization in America. I forgot what it was, but basically it said that like around half of the reports of you know, stuff related to CP or things like that in America were false apparently. And you know, it just goes to show. It just goes to show that is actually doing far more damage because no one someone enjoying lolicon in their privacy is not affecting anyone. And if someone tells me that no, they might actually use that as an entryway for the actual real thing, that is the same argument as violence in video games causing violence IRL, which is, I think it's been proven many times now that that's not true. Violence in video games does not cause violence IRL. It's not, because a regular normal person that's sane, that is actually sane, knows the difference of reality and fantasy. That's what it means to touch grass. Touch grass means that you remember what reality looks like. And reality and fantasy are completely different things. They're not the same. We can't put them at the same standard. Like, someone that cannot perceive the difference between reality and fantasy, I feel like that's already someone already has problems to begin with, right? So someone that would let themselves be influenced by fiction to do a crime in real life, that is someone that clearly had issues. Because I remember there was this school shooter that once literally, I think, admitted that the reason why they did the school shootings because they were influenced by games like GTA and things like that. Does that mean we're gonna ban GTA? Or because someone was influenced by that? No. Because millions of people play GTA. You don't see millions of people going outside killing people? No. Because the majority of people are sane people that know where the reality begins and where the fantasy ends. They're regular people, they're normal people, they know the difference between fiction and reality, right? We're not gonna take GTA away from everyone just because one person that had issues, committed a crime. There will always be someone out there that has issues, that gets influenced by something. But that doesn't mean we have to take it away from everyone that knows how to control themselves and knows where the difference lies. But yeah, that's my tangent. And I feel like the whole violence in video games kinda is similar to the whole lolicon thing. It's the same thing. It's the exact same thing. It goes into like even if you go into other things like in hentai, where people have like all these sorts of fetishes that are weird. Like there's people that have gore fetishes. There are people that have like you know, forced fetishes. You know what I mean by forced? It's just so I don't get demonetized by saying the R word. You know, people that have those fetishes don't necessarily want it in real life. They don't. They know that in real life it would be terrible. But they like it in fiction. Because it's fiction. It's a fantasy, right? Think about people that have like a yandere fetish. People that love yanderes. Most people that love yanderes, yandere in this case is like someone who's lovesick. It's usually someone who's a bit of a psychopath for you and will kill for you, right? I think most people know that an actual yandere in real life would be a terrible thing. But that's fine because it's fiction, it's fantasy. People like to enjoy it in fiction, in fantasy. They know it's terrible IRL, but well, it's not real, it's fiction. It's the same thing here. The whole thing with loli and guro and all that. They will shit themselves if they have a real yandere, exactly. Like, everyone knows a real yandere would be terrible. I mean, there's probably one or two people out there that probably actually want it. But like I said, there's always an exception for everything. An exception that probably has some problems. Or, I don't know, maybe they haven't matured yet to think properly on the matter. Right? But it goes It's the same thing. Really. But again, most people that I've seen talk about lolly, usually against it, I feel like they are people that they don't feel comfortable enough to have a conversation about it, which is fine. It's completely fair. You don't have to feel comfortable on this topic, because yeah, it is weird. It is weird, right? I mean, it's true that weirdness in itself is a concept that is subjective, varies from person to person. Things that are weird, that's subjective. Things that's disgusting, that's... Some people like scat, right? Most people would probably agree that scat is weird and disgusting, but that is a subjective feeling, and some people don't see it that way, right? And that's up to them. That's what they're into, right? I'm probably gonna be demonetized. That's fine if I'm demonetized for this stream. That's okay. But I feel like a lot of people that are uncomfortable to talk about this topic, they don't talk too much about it because they are uncomfortable about it, and that's fine. That's completely fair. But I feel like they don't realize that the reason why they don't talk about it too much is because they are uncomfortable. Because maybe if they were more comfortable to talk about it, they could actually have a proper conversation about it, rather than just defaulting to calling people that do this thing that they disagree with criminals, when they aren't criminals because they haven't committed any crimes. And I can say that for sure, because if you go to see the countries where they live in, this is not illegal. Like, a criminal is someone who committed a crime. You cannot become a criminal if you haven't committed a crime, right? So if they're doing something that's legal, then they haven't committed a crime. Therefore, they're not criminals. But yeah. With that said, I'm just talking about the realm of fiction here. Before anyone decides to twist my words and make it somehow a real thing, you won't get me that way. This is strictly the realm of fiction. Just fiction. But yeah. I just think there's a big lack of discourse between two sides, where two people with opposite views decide to actually discuss this without shitting on each other. Because it usually just defaults to name-calling and shitting on each other. That's the problem. I've seen both sides of the discussion. For example, I've seen Pippa talk a lot about some of these points. In a way, she said something similar to what I said right now. I've also seen the other side by content creators that I like. I like Asmongold, he doesn't like Lolicon. I don't really have much of an opinion on Lolicon on itself, to be fair, but I don't agree with Asmongold on that. I still like Asmongold though, even if we have a different opinion, but I really would like to see Asmongold have a proper discussion on the topic with someone that disagrees with him on them. Like, for example, Pippa. I think Pippa and Asmongold, they stand on completely different perspectives in this matter. They are two content creators that I like. I would love to see them talk about this actual topic. Because again, every time I see discussion of the topic, it's very one-sided. It becomes a bit of an echo chamber, I feel. Anyways, I think I spent enough time talking about this. Anyways, but yeah, so in conclusion, if Twitter gets mad and tries to cancel you, don't worry, it's Twitter. The reason why they're canceling you is because they can't do anything else. What happens on Twitter doesn't really matter. There will always be other people, that have the sense to look into what's going on actually.
手作りだから不格好なところもあったんですけど、それがまた嬉しくて、毎日が誕生日ならいいのにって本気で思ってました。
I just feel like there's this big sense of, in a way, superiority, where there's one side that clearly wants to enforce their morals on the other side, when the other side clearly does not share those same morals. I realized that ever since I had that discussion with Ying a long time ago. And while that discussion is not related to this at all, it made me understand the difference in culture and how different cultures can really make up for different morals. The conversation, I think I talked about this on stream, the conversation I had with Ying about about regulations, right? And how in America they tend to be very not so keen on regulation, but here in Europe we tend to be more pro-regulations, right? Well, in America they say no because our freedom, and here you say yes because it's good for people, right? And it comes down to like a different cultural values and morals, right? I wouldn't want anyone to enforce on me like the American like notions of freedom because I don't agree with them, right? Likewise, I'm not going to enforce my European values on Americans because they live there, I live here. No need if we can just agree to disagree and live however we want. If I go to America to visit, yeah, I'll probably behave like an American, you know? When in Rome, do as Romans do. I want to go to Japan one day. I'll probably do my best to fit in with Japanese culture. If I go to America, I'll try and fit in with American culture. That's that. It's not so difficult to just agree that people can be different, and that's fine. Miss Aqua speaks so fondly of her memories. It's refreshing to see because she rarely talks about herself. That sounds really nice. When's your birthday, Miss Aqua?
8月の8日です。
Hey, she's a Leo like me. Let's go. Oh, I see. Oh, isn't that soon? Today's August the 1st, so it's only a week away. Are you going home for your birthday?
いえ、お仕事がありますから、両親には手紙だけ送っておきます。
Oh, then, in that case.
あと特別にお祝いとかしなくても大丈夫ですから。
As if knowing what I'm about to say, she shuts me down before I can even speak.
だってメイドの誕生日をご主人様が祝うとか、どう考えても変じゃないですか。逆ならまだわかりますけど。
That's... well, you're not wrong about that. I nod awkwardly in agreement with Miss Aqua's logic. It's a fact that we've never celebrated Miss Marin's birthday, nor has she ever asked us to. But now that I'm aware of my feelings for Miss Aqua, I can't back down. At the very least, I want to show her my gratitude and create an occasion where we can celebrate Miss Aqua's birthday together.
ご主人様、変なこと考えてませんよね。
Don't worry, I won't cause you any trouble, Miss Aqua.
答えになってませんよ。本当に何もしなくていいですからね。
She reminds me of a friend of mine. I smile in response to Miss Aqua's reminder. But in my head, I started thinking, how I can celebrate Miss Aqua's birthday? Okay, I think we should leave it at that for now. Miss Aqua leaves, and I head to my room and begin planning a birthday party for her. I want to make it as grand as possible, but there's one problem. I have to keep this an absolute secret from Miss Aqua and, of course, Sister. I'm pretty sure that Sister doesn't want me getting any closer to Miss Aqua. So if she finds out that I'm doing this for Miss Aqua, Sister will surely try to shut it all down. So I have to make sure she never finds out until just before the birthday party. At the very least, we need a cake and some presents. It's not like I can just waltz out whenever I like. Ugh. I only have a week, so I need to hurry. I think Miss Marin should be in the kitchen right about now.
ケーキを作ってほしいですか？
Yes, for August 8th. August the 8th. Could you do that for me?
構いませんけど、その日何かあるんですか？
I momentarily think about lying to Miss Marin, but I end up telling her everything about my plans for the birthday party. I can't really leave the mansion on my own to go out and buy the things I need, so I have no choice but to rely on her.
アクタンの誕生日会をするのは賛成ですけど、この話はお嬢様も知ってるんですか？
No, I plan on keeping it a secret from her because she'll try to stop me.
そうですか。
Even if Sister finds out, I'll take full responsibility. So can you help me please, Marin?
まあ、
Miss
ご主
Marin?
人様にお願いされたら断れないですしね。 わかりました。お嬢様には黙っておきますよ。必要なのはケーキだけですか？プレゼントはどうします？
Thinking of making her a small cat figure. Miss Aqua loves cats, you see. I'm sure she'd be delighted, since she said her parents always gave her handmade presents. Could you get me some wood and a small crafting knife from the market? Wait, you can do wood carving, main character? Wow. Miss Marin nods and promises she'll go shopping for me. You have 7 days to wood carve a cat. Can you do it? Do you have experience with that? It's noon the next day, and Miss Marin bought me the materials, so I spread them out on my desk and begin making Miss Aqua's present. Attempting to make a palm-sized cat figure, I pick up the crafting knife and start carving. But since I don't have a lot of experience making stuff like this, it's kind of hard to make it the way I picture it in my head. I focus all my concentration on making it the best I can, and time passes in the blink of an eye. Ugh, my eyes and hands hurt. I guess I should take a...
ご主人様、開けていいですか？
Please, hold on a minute. I reply in a panic and scurry to hide everything. Sorry to keep you waiting. Come in.
失礼します。もしかしてお取り込み中でしたか？
No, don't worry about it. It was just bad timing, that's all. I reply to Miss Aqua, who is carrying a large basket. She must have brought some clean laundry.
あれ、ご主人様のズボン、すごく汚れてません？
Huh? Ah, they are. I look down and see my pants covered in wood shavings. It seems that in my haste to put everything away, I scattered the shavings on myself.
机の下も汚れちゃってますし、すぐに掃除しますね。でも、
You screwed up,
ど
main
うして
character.
こんなに木くずだらけなんですか？
That's because, I can't say it's because I'm making a birthday present for her. If I do, she'll surely refuse it and tell me to stop. Just a little hobby of mine, don't worry about it.
木を削るのが趣味なんですか？
I nod, though Miss Aqua looks at me with skeptical eyes. She doesn't believe it for one bit. But seconds later, she claps her hands.
あ、でもちょっとわかります。木って削るといい匂いし
Never
ま
mind,
す
she
よね。
believes it.
森の香りっていうか、私も実家で薪割りを手伝った時に気に入った匂いの薪は燃やさないで部屋に飾ってました。
By the way, this is actually how they used to perfume things before perfume was a thing. Like, I remember I studied in my previous semester that in China, aromatic woods were very much like a luxury, and that the imperial family all wanted to get their hands on like different types of aromatic wood so that every one of them could mix their own smells and have their own unique smells. This was before perfume was a thing, by the way. So they relied on aromatic woods. Those aromatic woods would come from all over the place. Some of them would come from like, you know, Eastern Africa. Some of them would come from Indonesia. They had like aromatic woods coming from everywhere. This is basically, the time was Song Dynasty China. So basically around the year 1000. This is something I read in the book The Year 1000 by academic Valerie Hansen, where she argues that the year 1000 was actually the year that began globalization instead of the Age of Discovery. And I think she has actually a pretty good argument there. It's very interesting. Song Dynasty, she argues that Song Dynasty China was the most globalized place on earth. You had all types of products coming from all over the world. And even though you didn't have any products coming from the Americas, theoretically you could, because the Vikings already had contact with the Native Americans at that point. And they already like traded between the Americas and Scandinavia among themselves. So theoretically, you could have actually products coming from there to China, because it's like a huge network of like trade all over the place. It's very interesting. Especially around the coastal area of China, you would have access to all kinds of products from all over the place. It's very, very interesting. So yeah, aromatic woods. That's what people used before perfume. They would try and put the smell of the aromatic woods into clothes and stuff. Yes, that's it. Also, the sound when carving is quite soothing.
ご主人様って意外と陰キャな趣味持ってるんですね。ちょっと親近感湧いちゃいます。ではお着替えと掃除の準備をしますね。少々お待ちください。
Without pursuing the matter any further, she turns around and begins working with her hands. I have to be more careful from now. You know what? That's good enough. That's not bad. There, it's finally done. 4 days after I started, the cat figure is finally complete. The center of the body is hollow, so it can be used as an air freshener by putting cloth soaked in perfume inside. Now, as long as Miss Marin finishes the cake in time, everything will be perfect.
ご主人様、談話室でお嬢様がお待ちです。
Thank you. I'll head over now. I look at my watch, but it's still a little bit early for dinner. Why is she calling me for me, I wonder? I carefully place the finished cat figure in my desk drawer and head towards the common room with Miss Aqua. Looks good, especially how distorted Neko is. True. Keeping in mind Neko is already very distorted, this looks pretty good. We arrive at the common room and find Sister and Miss Marin waiting for us. The two look at us with a frown, which makes me anxious to hear what they have to say.
私が先月、ホワイト家で開かれたお茶会に参加したことを覚えていますか？
Yes, that was the time I couldn't go. I remember it clearly, as that was the day that I met Miss Aqua for the first time. I was supposed to attend the tea party, but Sister went in my stead, concerned that I was feeling under the weather. According to Sister, the White family served only the most fabulous treats and tea. They really spared no expense for her.
とても素晴らしい会でしたし、招かれっぱなしというわけにはいきません。そこで、ホワイト家の皆さんをうちにお招きして、パーティーを開きたいと思います。先方の都合を伺ったところ、8月8日が都合いいということでした。
Hearing that date causes a cold sweat to drip down my spine. August the 8th is Miss Aqua's birthday. Although I have yet to tell Sister, that's the day I'm planning on having Miss Aqua's birthday party. We have it on a different day? Just feels too sudden.
この日しか無理ということでした。
Oh boy.
急いで準備をする必要がありますね。
If we rush things, we may dishonor them with a poor and satisfactory welcome. Surely moving it to a later date
ホ
will...
ワイト家と親交を深めることはフランスワ家の役に立ちます。それに
Oof.
マリンとアクア
This
さん
ruins
な
our
ら
plans.
なんとかなると思いますよ。二人とも頼めますか？
精一杯頑張ります。お嬢様の依頼ですし、なんとかしますよ。
よろしい。ではパーティーのために必要なものをまとめましょう。
Following Sister's lead, we begin going over the details for the party. My brain is working overtime trying to figure out a way to still have Miss Aqua's birthday on top of all of this. After our discussion, I asked Miss Marin to come to my room.
いやー、お嬢様も無茶言いますよね。急にパーティーやるなんて。まあ、向こうの都合もあるから仕方ないんでしょうけど。
You think you can still manage to make the cake and the party preparations for Miss Aqua? At the same time, no less?
いやー、さすがに厳しいですよ。
They only have 2 maids
ケーキは
after
日
all,
持ちしないです
and
から
only one of them is working
当
on
日
it.
に作らなきゃいけないですし。そもそも今すぐにでもパーティーの準備をしないといけませんから、何かを手作りするってのが難しいです。
I thought as much. For nobility, social parties like these are prestigious events where family honor is put on the line. It's not something that can be done half-heartedly. But that day is also Miss Aqua's birthday, so I want to make time to celebrate with her in some way. It'd be great if I could leave the party at some point and celebrate with her birthday together somewhere. Just the two of us.
そんなことしたらお嬢様に怒られますよ。貴族の責務を放り出してメイドにかまけてるとは何事だって。最悪アクタンがクビになるかもしれませんよ。
That's certainly not good enough. And can't we just delay Aqua's birthday for the next day after? There are a lot of people that don't mind that. They don't mind, celebrating their birthday on a more convenient day if needed. A lot of my friends do that. Miss Marin's reasoning is sound, and I can't refute her. I don't want to be separated from Miss Aqua, so I have to avoid that at all costs. I'll just have to persuade sister before then somehow. If I can't do that, I'll have no choice but to give up.
説得なんて無理ですよ。メイドよりも貴族を優先するのは当たり前のことなんですから。
That may be true, but I can't give up without at least trying. A birthday is a special occasion that comes once in a year. So it's absolutely ridiculous that I can't celebrate Miss Aqua's birthday just because she's a maid. I declare my strong resolve, but Miss Marin remains silent.
アクアさんの誕生日をお祝いしたいですか？
Sister sighs deeply after hearing my request.
ちゃんと許可をもらいに来たことは褒めましょう。ですが、答えはもちろんノーです。その日は社交パーティーがあります。メイドのために使う時間なんて1分たりともありません。
But this is a special day for her that only comes once in a year. If I could just have a few.
そもそも貴族がメイドの誕生日を祝うこと自体がおかしな話です。そのぐらいの常識、テオも分かっていると思いましたよ。
Even if she's a maid, Misako is very important to me. So why can't we at least celebrate her birthday?
もうやめてください。
And she listened. You should have just delayed it to the next day. It would make things more simple. Come on. Miss Aqua? Because I think even Aqua realizes this might be a bit too childish now on Theo's part. Like, apparently the white family is only coming on that day. There's no other day that's gonna happen. And it's important, at the end of the day, they are a noble family, they need to worry about these things, right? So I feel like the mature thing to do would be just to have the party that day and delay Aqua's birthday party for another day, I'm sure Aqua wouldn't mind it. It would be easier to do that too. I must have been too preoccupied trying to convince sister. Theo is a bit too stubborn here. Unreasonably so. I didn't even notice Miss Aqua entering the common room.
ご主人様、いつ私がお誕生日を祝ってほしいってお願いしたんですか？むしろやめてくださいって言いましたよね。
Because this ends up putting trouble on Aqua as well. I was just hoping to.
ご主人様に大切に思ってもらえるのはすごく嬉しいです。でも私のせいでお二人が喧嘩するのは見ていられません。
Exactly. My point exactly. It just brings more trouble towards Aqua.
ご主人様のお気持ちだけで十分ですから。誕生日会は諦めてくれませんか？
If that's what you want, I guess there's nothing I can do. My whole body deflates. I never imagined she'd reject me like this so strongly. I mean, just put yourself in Aqua's shoes. It's not difficult to imagine she would feel this way. Since Miss Aqua said it herself, there's nothing else I can do but give up.
ごめんなさい、ご主人様。
As Theo leaves the room, Aqua bows deeply.
お嬢様、私の答えは正しかったでしょうか？
はい。メイドとしては100点だったと思います。テオを止めてくれてありがとうございます。テオはフランス家の後継者なのですから、変な噂が立っては困ります。貴族とメイドには決して越えてはいけない壁があるのです。
Aqua nods in agreement with Fubuki.
私、ご主人様の足を引っ張りたくないんです。ご主人様はきちんと家を継いで、由緒正しい女性と結婚するのが一番の幸せでしょうから。
Or Theo could be like Oda Nobunaga and just do whatever he wants. I mean, Nobunaga had the power to stop anyone that tried to oppose him. He fought a civil war in his own clan against his own brother. Because a lot of people thought he wasn't fit because of the things he did. Nobunaga talked to peasants, wrestled to peasants, befriended peasants. How dare he? And then he fought the civil war and won because Nobunaga was really competent. But there we go. He made a lot of peasants be in strong positions. Hideyoshi, the guy that succeeded him, who was literally the second person to have ever been awarded a castle. He was a peasant. Nobunaga made him samurai. Because again, Nobunaga was just too powerful. But he earned that power himself. Because he didn't always have it.
そこに私の入る隙間なんてありませんよ。
無理をしないようにとは言えませんね。無理をさせているのは私ですから。私は部屋で休んでいます。アクアさんは社交パーティーの準備をしていてください。
Because I'm sure as soon as Theo gets the power, you know, to lead his own group, you know, and make sure things are okay. I'm pretty sure Fubiki will join his side.
はい、お仕事頑張ります。
Fighting for love. Aqua replies enthusiastically to keep her spirits up. However, the overwhelming guilt she feels for Theo is welling up deep within her heart. And this is quite dramatic. I wasn't expecting this to be like this, huh? I like it. Anyways, by the way, it's getting a bit late though. I think this is a good place to stop. I'm gonna save, and we're gonna end it
本当に
here.
大丈夫？
I ended up going on a big tangent about the whole topic with Marin and the Twitter thing. But I guess that's just what happens when I enthusiastically start talking about something. Oh well. We'll see. I'll play more. Actually, should I play Valkyrie Chronicles next stream or should I play more Aquarium? I think I'll play Valkyrie Chronicles because I do want to progress that game as well. And then next Saturday we continue with Aquarium. So I'll stream Valkyrie Chronicles sometime within the week, next week. Don't know what, maybe Tuesday. Maybe I'll go back to Tuesday, but we'll see. And then Aquarium next Saturday. All right, this was nice. I'm enjoying this a lot. This is a very good visual novel. I like it. I like it a lot. It's honestly way more deep than I thought. I wasn't expecting seeing commentary about, social commentary about social class divide and all that. Like, wow, interesting. Not what I expected at all. This is really good, and the drama is good. It's good drama, you know. This is a good like romantic drama here. They love each other, but they can't because they're divided by social class. It's beautiful. I love it. This is great. Anyways, with that said, thank you guys for coming. Sweet dreams. I'll see you next time. Bye bye.